So just graphically, it almost gave me like a little bit of a Overwatch vibe originally, but I guess you can't compare every game to Overwatch. It's just somehow, and I don't know if it's going to be like the same sort of thing, like where you have certain, oh, another game without a custom cursor. How about that? But yeah, this is a game that when it first came out, I wanted to try it. I forget exactly how long it's been out, but I don't feel like it's been actually that long, but sort of like I put it on my list and then I forget about it. But then see, in the back of my mind, I have like a peace of mind that, oh, I'll be able to get around to it eventually. There's no rush. But I'm glad I heard that it was going offline, right? It could be next month. It's early next year, they said kind of generically. So if I didn't see that article like a week ago, so I've had it on, it's not like an impromptu thing that I just did today because I just saw that. But like a week ago, I saw that it's going to be taken down. And so like next year. And so I definitely put it at the top of my list. But yeah, it had been on the back of my mind for a long time, but I just don't feel the pressure to do it because it's like, oh, it's not going anywhere, right? But this is the problem with the multiplayer era of gaming is like, not only is that true in 10 times worse, like with games that you pay money for and games that you like buy microtransactions in, but even beyond that, it's just like, there's so many of these games like 10 years from now, it's like, oh yeah, you never got to play that and it's just gone and you'll never be able to, right? And it's sort of like a cheeky emperor's wears no clothes fallacy too that people will do. They'll hype it up even more, like it might be a good, great game anyway, but people will deliberately say that with certain games, like just because they know nobody can play it, so they have like this special thing that is all their own, and they'll just like rave about it for decades to come, like, oh yeah, I got to play that one game that you'll never get to play and it's better than anything out there right now. So there is a bit of that sort of cheeky element. But yeah, like with WoW Classic, like pretend if Blizzard didn't re-release WoW Classic, or if Blizzard went defunct like in 2010, then it might just be gone forever and you just don't get to play it. So it's not a question of how good or not good or whatever the game is. It's just like, it's like preserving a piece of art in a museum, right? Like, why does it matter? It's like, oh yeah, the Mona Lisa's really outdated, we can just destroy that, right? That's what the multiplayer space sort of does, is it takes something that should just be preserved and it turns it into like an expendable product that requires a constant server update, server upkeep. So it distorts the perception. Like nobody would say that with like Ocarina of Time. Oh yeah, well, Ocarina of Time is just an old game, so just play the newer one, play Breath of the Wild, right? But Ocarina of Time still exists and you still at least have the option and you never have to worry about it. But like with, again, any of these MMOs, WoW Classic, games like this are going to be a case where you just you feel this pressure to do it. And you might say, oh, why not just play it then when it's out? But then there's hundreds of games like that you might want to get around to and you might miss it or whatever. And then the worst thing is when you hear about it later. Or like, what if you're born like, if you were born in 2016, you would have never gotten the chance to play Classic WoW. So it's not even like, oh, you should have just played it when you were minus 10 years old. Lol. Like, this is the kind of stupid shit. But people actually defended that pretty hard when we had that discussion. It was about WoW Classic, like just people saying, oh, just play current WoW, right? But that isn't the point. You should be able to preserve a piece of history. This is why I'm not even defending emulation necessarily, but sometimes emulation can do something good for, like, again, just preserving it, even just for private use or, not commercial use. You're not selling it. You're not really, well, you're stealing it in a manner of speaking, but you can just preserve something that otherwise, I'm sure there's plenty of games like that, right? Where somebody has like their own private server of some old MMO that even if only they can play on, right, that's defunct and the company's dead and that game's no longer playable. It just feels kind of sad and like a weird pressure to have to do that. So yeah, I don't really know anything about it. I have it sitting on my PS5 actually. So I wonder it'll just get deleted automatically when the fucking thing is gone. And it's also like a weird thing too. There's so many people now who will come to its defense and act like, oh, it's so sad that it's going down. But if it was so active and so many people loved it and were playing it and were paying microtransactions for it or whatever, then you would think it would keep going. So it makes you think something must be wrong. Otherwise it's just the company being a dick. But people will always come to its defense when it's going to go down, whatever, any game. But if they were that enthusiastic about it the whole time, you would think it would be in a better shape and wouldn't need to shut down in the first place. And so, yeah, I may as well just play it on PC and make it count. But I was going to do it on there at some point. I just completely forgot about it. Yeah, that's like the sort of paranoia of multiplayer games that people will always feel, which is kind of an annoying aspect. And like I said, it's even worse when money is involved. Like you buy a game like NBA 2K or something, and then the servers go down like a year or 2 years down the road. And so it's not a question of, oh, you know that's going to happen or you expect that. It's just the principle behind it is so, it's such a transient thing. You're not really owning anything, you're not really buying anything, even in a figurative sense, right? Like in most games, okay, you're buying something, it's not real anyway, it's just a game, but that takes it a step further. Like, not only is it not real, but it's only going to be there for a temporary time, and it's going to be arbitrary. Like, oh, just tomorrow the developer's like, fuck it, we're just taking this down. So that does create imagine, I think of MMOs so much in that way. Like, people spend hundreds, thousands of hours in MMOs building their characters, this and that. You could say that's their fault for putting that much into it, but then one day it just all gets ripped out from under you. Pretty good title screen. Yeah, as far as like multiplayer games, like I'm usually not big on playing them in general and even streaming them, or rather I use them as like my secondary format. So for example, I have like right now my rotation is like, I'll do a hard mode one day, a story game the other day. So like if I do a hard mode series, a story game series in front, then as a secondary game, I'll do like Hearthstone day 1, Magic day 2, Magic the Gathering, Chess day 3, Pokemon like an online TCG day 4, and Master Duel day 5. And so the point is that you're basically spreading it out in such a way that they're all like turn-based games and they're all like to kind of wind down the stream. But to do something like this, you would have to do it as a primary thing, something real-time, action-focused. So not that we could do it with this game even if I wanted to, but this slot would be more like, for like Overwatch 2 or something like that, that you could either do it as a secondary format or you could take it really seriously as a primary format. But yeah, I think multiplayer games are suited for like a sort of just like a never-ending ongoing thing that you can just play as much or as little as you want, right? You can take it as seriously or as casually as you want to take it, and it's typically never going anywhere, so you never have to worry about like running out of stuff to do. I assume it'll have like characters to choose from, like a roster of characters and whatnot. Trying to think, like, what is my history with like specifically streaming multiplayer games? Like I did WoW, I did Hearthstone. I really haven't done too many over the years. I think I did a little Overwatch, but that was like very, very little. Mostly just that makes me seem like, oh, I'm just a Blizzard fan, or at least I was more so. Music's really quiet on the screen, so yeah, that was sort of just the whole rant about multiplayer games having a sort of transient feeling that is objectively a negative thing, no matter how good the game is, or no matter how sort of expected or understood that's going to happen eventually with every game, right? And you would think this game would appeal to me especially because everyone knows from my RPG, like even single player experience, how much I love mages, and whether it's Dark Souls or Skyrim or whatever, I always opt to play a mage, or at least that's a favorite of mine. So it's kind of like an intrinsic fantasy argument, like, oh, well, warriors existed in real life, right? Soldiers and people who use melee and archers who use bows. In a manner of speaking, oh, you could just do that in real life, as people have. It's obviously not exactly the same thing, and I sometimes enjoy those classes too, but on a literal level, right, what's more exciting, going around with a sword and a shield, which is based in reality, or going around flinging spells or doing over the top stuff? It just feels more intrinsic to a fantasy setting. I feel like there was something else. I don't like how it doesn't have a custom cursor, or maybe it will inside of there. So I wonder how many people are even playing now. Probably a lot. Yeah, I am glad I heard about it. Otherwise, this is one of those that could just pass you by, and then you hear about it after the fact that it was going down. So is he going to put me through some super long tutorial? Do you have an account? No. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, that was like my old school analysis, very topical to the whole, multiplayer server shutting down discussion. It's just like with my analysis on WoW, and like, why was it so addictive, and why do people, spend so many thousands of hours into it and take it so seriously? It's because with games like that, you have this sense of like almost reality, in the sense that like the world doesn't revolve around you, and no matter how much you play, you could play all day every day, even without expansions, but especially with that, you're never going to do everything there is to do in the game. So there's always something to do, but you will never be able to do everything. And so there's this sense of, again, almost futility like in real life, but, you know, you don't feel like, oh, you're just going to exhaust all the content and be done with it. There's this feeling of just a sort of a looming presence of an infinite amount of content. But what hurts that peace of mind is obviously knowing on the flip side that something like this can happen where you would lose the game altogether. Allows crossplay, so I can pick on console players, which I almost would have been one. Why not make like a single player version of it that you can do after? Once they remove the servers, at least. You have been lied to all your life. Magic is yours to use. And I can show you how. Please don't make like a super long tutorial. Of course, I could play it again before it. Come with me. I'll show what it means to be a vow breaker. Yeah, I don't actually remember when exactly this came out. So my aim is probably going to be pretty dog shit. Disabled. Welcome to our ancient training. This is one of the few magic places we can practice safely. Few places we can practice magic safely. You'll train here to prepare for the Hollowed Lands, but more on that later. Head to the location I marked ahead. Yeah, so you could make a single player game just out of this and it would be good. Like, what was that one game? My name is Avira Emberdane. I'm like you, a Vowbreaker, an outcast, a criminal, a mage. I belong to the order of the Vowbreakers. We defy the Vowkeepers at every step. What? Already dead. I just wanted to see what happens if that happens. Make your way forward, but watch your step. Ledge is far away, but you can use your dodge ability to close. You exiled yourself. Not the first time I would have done that. How I've exiled myself from fucking like Pokemon by failing my permanet challenge or chess.com. Okay, what is it? Dodge? Yeah, imagine if I did it as a permadeath thing. I'd already have lost. Dodge in the direction of movement. Okay. Dodging is crucial for quick repositioning in combat. Levitate through the air. Levitate with space. Costs mana and can be toggled on and off. Oh, that's going to be a very complicated mechanic, though. And you can combine the two. I wonder if you could do that multiple times in the air. Like, I don't know what happened. You're getting the hang of it. I think they just keep teleporting you to different places. Oh, so I think it saved me the one time. Pyromancers can start with a fire. Gauntlets grant use of a spell with left click and Q. A sorcery with Q. Oh, this is going to be sick. So many games struggle with their magic systems. Like, even great games like Dark Souls are going to have... My aim's not going to be good enough, but... So many games like Dark Souls even rely on targeting. Like, auto-targeting. So at least free aim is nice. That's even something I praised about Skyrim, despite how much the melee combat could be so dog shit, right? Like, it's very static and all the weapons feel the same. But the magic is at least free form, where you actually have to aim it. So that does add a mechanic in and of itself. I just want to see what happens if you take damage there. Sorceries are more versatile than spells, but they can only be used infrequently. I don't know what Q did. I didn't use it like the whole time there. Oh, it's like some crazy thing. I don't know why we're getting a little bit of stutter there, but it's fine. This almost makes me want to play a single player game like this. Q, hold, release, cast primary sorcery. Aim your flame wall. I think I just fucked it up. There was some game like Magica or whatever, right, from years ago that was a very simple graphic style that it just reminds me of. That'll be like an AoE. There are many kinds of gauntlets, each with their own abilities. Try them all. But I'm sure when you go in a match, you can't just change at will. You probably... Well, maybe some games do allow you to do that. Equip a toxic gauntlet. Elements can be combined to create special interactions. This is just going to make me feel sad that I didn't get to play it sooner, too. Because even with this, people will still do that same Emperor with no clothes fallacy. Like, oh, like something non-accountable. Oh, yeah, even though the game's good now, it was better before you played it. And you'll never be able to play it in that previous better state. So, is E the same thing as No, it's going to be all different. Of course, like so many other games, Q, W, E, and left click, right click. Of course, because it's right next to the movement keys, it makes sense. Or actually, W doesn't make sense. F, common wolf, rune. Activate the rune's power to reveal and destroy. And of course, everybody's going to be like a super god tier player and a tryhard. But maybe not, because a lot of people will be doing the same thing as I am, right? Which is just trying it. Looks like enemies lurking behind those walls. Yeah, a lot of games struggle with their magic system, so it is always refreshing to see a good one. Of course, when the whole game is built around it, that's fine. But like, imagine that Harry Potter game is going to come out, Hogwarts Legacy or whatever it is, or whatever. There's some open world Harry Potter game, and I would love to see a great magic system in that. Equipment and other items found on the ground in chests or dropped by opponents. Run speed +1. Oh, I was doing that like to sprint. Where are we even trying to go with this? I don't know why it says my name like that on the bottom, like the Steam name. That's kind of stupid. Oh, it's just showing me items. Okay, max mana +10. So what is even my mana? My health is there. I don't even see where my mana is. I guess it's above my head. But then that means it just keeps coming back at will. So you can't damage yourself, and that makes me think there'd be friendly fire too. Assuming it's like a team-based thing. Max armor +20. So that goes up on top of your health like body armor, so it's just a bonus separate thing. The rare your equipment is something. Max mana +30. Run speed +4. Basically just pick up everything, because why wouldn't you whenever you see it. Uncommon belt, 4 strength, 4 stam leather belt. Makes your armor a bit better. Also recover health and armor you put on that belt, right? Why is she saying that like I did something wrong? Yes, I hit you. Quit whining. I can't teach you to heal yourself with no injury. Well, little do you know, I strategically just hit myself multiple times. So does your health regenerate on its own? Like... Cover your health with Z. After consuming for 3 seconds. I don't know why it's stuttering so much. Consume that shard, recover your armor. So I think 40 is the max, or maybe it just keeps increasing total base by... Or it also says 1. So either Z or 1. I wonder what the other ones would be. X, C, V probably. Communication and teamwork, yeah, those are the kind of aspects I also don't like. But there should be friendly fire if I was able to hit myself there even. Things don't always go as planned if you can't protect your... Cool how it shows you how long the thing is going to last though too. Revive, okay. You're a mage, not a fucking priest or something though. Job for friendly fire, many of your abilities can... Yeah, that's going to be a hard thing to avoid. There should be like a good 1v1 type of format in this too. Because I don't see why it wouldn't be balanced in such a way that that could work. Practice range is all yours. Good luck. That's it. Well, there were a lot of mechanics there. I just kind of didn't. Basically, a lot of it's just pick up random stuff. Because why wouldn't you? And just try it. Large health potion after 6 seconds. Does that mean you have to be like in the same spot, or it's always good to be able to do that just to test it. Small chest. Max mana. Maybe that is their secret, that they're gonna bring this down, but then they'll make a single player version of it, which would be probably pretty good, at least the core mechanics. It's always a shame. I felt almost similar like that about Overwatch. Like, there's so many cool things you could do with it. I think part 2 was even flirting with the idea of not saying they have to put it in the multiplayer thing, but if they made it from the ground up with that kind of mechanical effort, right, it could be very good. I guess there's no way to really practice the... So what is the whole dash thing? I always forget. What was it to dash? It was control, I guess? That seems kind of too wimpy, though. I guess that must be it. You can do the little thing here. Wait, that shift is kind of a little confusing because I keep having the instinct to do it to sprint. I don't know why it's doing that. And it'll probably only be worse in an actual match, or maybe it'd be about the same. There's friendly mages, but shouldn't they give you like something unfriendly to go against? Like that actually tries to fight you. Yeah, nice AI. Fire gun. So I guess you can obviously choose preferentially. Hold to swap. Stone. I mean, it looks like he's doing the same thing. Fire, though. Or that'll be maybe only for certain things. So E is going to be the cooldown. Q is basically... Oh, no. Q is also a cooldown. So click is just its own separate thing. You got left click, right click, Q, shift, and E. I got to stop doing shift just on impulse like that. Shadow Step, Rune. You don't really start with any particular thing. So maybe there aren't even like classes. Like everybody's just the same thing. And then you kind of choose how you build it over time once you're in there. Okay, let me actually see what you can do with this. I wonder what kind of cosmetics and shenanigans people have. After several... Yeah, thanks for reminding me. 2R breakers. Years of battle mages from throughout the world unleashing their elemental might, we've made the difficult decision to end development. Days remaining. Oh, they are being very exact with it. 32. When I saw the article, it was just like, oh, some generic sometime next year. So you have 32 days. All real money have been permanently disabled, but the ones that you spent are obviously gone. Thank you for your support. Just seems kind of odd. But then you'll see that sort of conflict of like, so many people will be saying, oh, why is it going down? Why is it going down? It's so good. But if the community was that strong, why would it be going down? I don't know. It's almost like, people pretend to like it more when they hear something's going down, or it's just like a niche, like a vocal minority. It's like the Miles Edgeworth thing, like where, obviously I was a big fan of it. I wanted the sequel to be localized to America, but it only ever came out in Japan, so that a fan had to translate it. Similar to the whole emulation argument, where like you're trying to just preserve or convey like a piece of work of art or whatever, and they're trying to stop you for whatever reason. But it's like I even owned the Japanese copy. That's the whole point. It's just that like I knew a little Japanese at the time, but obviously not enough, or I would have been so focused on trying to translate it that I wouldn't be able to actually appreciate the mystery and whatnot of the experience. But the point being that which one was I just then? I don't even know. Adept, pupil, but no, it's like with that, if the first game, Miles Edgeworth 1, had done so well, then of course they would have localized the sequel. Why wouldn't they? So on one hand, everybody's clamoring for part 2, but on the other hand, those same people must not have bought the game or played the game, because if they had, then it would have done better. So I don't know. Apprentice, from study comes power. Novice, humble beginnings. Choose just an outfit. Pupil, learn to burn. Adapt, raw potential. Journeyman, the path to mastery is long. Adventure awaits in unexpected places. Wanderer, never stop exploring the great unknown. Initiate, never stop learning. I'm assuming this won't have any impact on anything. I kind of like her hair there. Oh, it doesn't look like that now, though. There was some kind of battle royale solo. Now that's going to be like last person standing. I'm kind of sick of those kind of modes. Too many games do that. Chapters, leagues, shop, you're not going to be able to do, or rather, you will be able to do it, but you'll only be able to do it with in-game currency, which is kind of the way it should be anyway. But of course, then how would they make money? Reach Mage 2 to unlock. Stone Shaper. You can't do anything with chapters or that. Yeah, let's just see what kind of style of cosmetics and whatnot they have. The graphic style is pretty good, actually. Kind of simple, but, semi-cartoonish. Pyromancers are no stranger to heat. They bend... Okay, so this will define, like, your default thing. Oh, this is kind of lame that... Well, I guess it makes sense that you would have to unlock something over time, but... In some ways, I kind of like it, building up your collection, like even as a free to play in like a card game. They bend with the flickering flame, embrace the blaze. Beware their fire, for if you are caught, only the smoldering grass shall be left behind. Yeah, except the grass did actually seem unaffected. Oh, it doesn't even let you read these from here. Stone Shaper, Conduit, Toxicologist, Frostborn, and Tempest. But it seemed like anybody could just pick up the gauntlets. I'm not really sure if that prevents you from doing stuff. Common outfit, raw potential. Uncommon outfit, power bides its time. So somehow I have some rare thing, or maybe it's just some default thing that wants to say uncommon. Random starting outfit. This one's fine, I guess. Artifact. I guess you'll be able to use the appearance regardless of what class and whatnot you are. Cerulean Spiral, Common Cloudburst, Blue Spiral circle you as you fall. It's going to be like the whole parachuting down like in fucking, whatever, PUBG or Fortnite or something. Afterglow, and different use of the term comes to mind. Light's Purity, Common Afterglow, becomes real as you levitate. Now, is that just whenever you hold space, I guess? So that is actually relevant to a mechanic that you're going to be seeing a lot. Breaker vows are meant to be broken. Bronze Warden, you reached the Bronze League in Season 2. Well, there are going to be no more seasons, so yeah, whoever is the top ranked player when the game shuts down gets a $1 million prize or something. Wait, how would I even have that if I literally am logging in for the first time? So there is crossplay, which I find kind of maybe unfair a bit, just for aiming purposes on console and stuff, unless there's some kind of zoom in thing too. It just gives you that no matter what. Title, Bronze Warden, emote, one hand wave. But like you only get one emote? Like you have to choose one? Or is it just showing you all the ones you have available? No, nope, not gonna happen. One hand wave, greet your squad or taunt your enemies. And it's even acknowledging that people will use seemingly friendly emotes and interactions to troll, like saying wow, amazing, and Hearthstone to mock what they just did. Yes, yep, definitely that's right. Cosmetics quests, they'll be like daily quests that you can save and work towards the rewards that you're never going to be able to use or not get to keep. This is almost how I look at things anyway, because I don't, you know, I'm in it for more the experience most of the time, unlike most people. So for me, it doesn't bother me as much, but also there's that sort of peace of mind aspect that you want to feel like you could come back to at any time, or like I did, like just put it off. Oh, there's no rush, I can just get around to it when I get around to it. But apparently not, right? Like you want to feel like you could be able to play it anytime you want ever, even if you never do. You just have like the so much. Going back to the WoW Classic thing, it's like even if I never actually was to play it, you always want to feel like you can, not just like, oh, I really feel like it today, and then it just doesn't exist. There's no way to do it. And that's mostly applicable with like really older games. Settings, it was kind of lagging a little bit, but let's just kind of deal with it, I guess. Now, how do I change these? Battle Royale, gather your gear, level up, and be the last battle mage standing. Dominion, compete in teams of 5 to capture and control 3 zones, earn enough points controlling zones, and exiling players to win. I wonder how many people are even in this, like 100, or practice, hone your skills on the practice island, test out different spells, items, and builds. Tutorial, learn how to play, including basic and advanced spell swinging and movement. Well, if that's what we just did, it wasn't really all that advanced, but I think that's how you start, and then that's the area I was just kind of wandering around in. I mean, I guess we can try it, but you always are at like a disadvantage too, right? If you, well, maybe it separates, like squad can only play against squad. Abilities, conjure a wall of fire. Okay, so that'll be Q and damage anyone inside of it. Fireball, send a scorching. Of course, my style of play, like in PUBG, that sometimes would work pretty good, is just playing like a pussy the whole match and hiding, let everyone kill, let everyone take the one another out. It's kind of brilliant because I don't even have to do anything most of the match, and then you get to the end, but it can be kind of boring. Like you just keep a low profile, let everyone else destroy themselves, and then you're like one of the last 5 or 6 standing every single time, which is better than I would do if I was obviously out there trying to gun for it. Fireball, send a scorching ball of fire flying towards your opponents. combust on direct hit, ignite for 2 seconds, explosion radius plus 200%. It's kind of hard to gauge what that means, though. It's not like a yard amount. Firefly, immune your flame walls. On entering, fly for 2 seconds. But you aren't immune to just the base fireball, the left click, because I kept walking through that and taking damage. Pyrolysis, flame wall plus 100%. Oh, you just get the... Wait. Oh, so you will get stronger as you level up, though. That's kind of... Or no, maybe that means level within the match itself. So that's like a League of Legends type of thing where... Okay, that's kind of not what I expected. I thought it would just be like a base. You just start as what you are, and you might get items and stuff, but this is actually going to improve over the course of the game, although most of it's just pretty much passive. Conflagration on fireball impact, explode into 6 cinders that ignite targets, AoE. This is going to remind me of the whole Bioshock thing, where I did the... What was it? Devil's Kiss or whatever, and that was on 1999 mode or whatever the fuck. Wait, how could it be 1999? Must be 1899 or whatever. Intelligent rune cooldown -5. Okay, so you can't actually change these. Talents are passive abilities that grant you advantages throughout a match. You may select and reconfigure talents here between the matches. Okay. Talents come in 3, mind, body, and spirit. Select the talent you want to enable or opt out. Oh yeah, I'll do it like Duel Links, like where everyone else is using skills, but I'm not, because I'm using my real life skill. Some talents must be unlocked first by reaching a certain level. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot of it then. You only have 7, so choose wisely. Your talent selections are specific per class, so don't forget to come back with switch class. Yeah, I hate feeling like I'm under pressure. Like, I can't just take my time and just soak it in the way I would have liked, but I guess it's my fault for not doing it sooner. Meanwhile, there could be 1,000 other games like this that are going to, you know, face similar situations that you would also have to find time for, so it's just, like, stupid. Right? It's just a bad system, but that's the price of the free-to-play model, I guess, but not even really. Even if it wasn't free-to-play, like, you had to pay real money for it, it could still happen where... You know, I'm sure there's examples, I just can't think of one, where it would still go down or after time. You have to rank up overall before you can even do these. But that would give you kind of an unfair advantage, though, in a way. Like, if I go against somebody who has this, spell damage plus, yeah. So that is kind of odd. Not even that, oh, it's pay to win. It's just like, it's play to win. Like, if you've played more than somebody else. Oh, let me make sure there's, like, no, voice chat.
No time to hesitate. Pick a spot.
Wouldn't even make sense in the context of this either, because you have no teammates anyway, so I don't know what you would even be doing, but it doesn't seem like I have a whole lot of control over this, though. Huh. Almost seems like that would do a certain amount of damage to you, just the landing. Large safeguard potion. After drinking for 6 seconds, you get 50 health and 10 armor. I guess you didn't see like the large group of people that would be around. There's no reason not to just pick it up at the beginning. But I'm gonna try to play like very pussy-like and defensive. Stone Gauntlet. My spells are gonna be fire though regardless, so I guess I forget. Use shift, epic, something. Okay. What is my Q gonna be? I guess you can't really look at... Oh, shit. Don't want to draw attention to yourself either. Sometimes the looting mechanics in games like this are kind of a little bit stupid, though. Better item already equipped. It's kind of good that it does that, I guess. Got to keep the high ground or give it up stupidly like that, maybe. Be cool to kind of just experience all the different environments. It is stuttering a little bit. Maybe I should turn the graphics down, because clearly that must be my fault that I can't handle this. I like the sort of open field aspect of it. A lot of just open space. It's not all just fighting in buildings and structures. I guess how would you even know how many people are in the match though? 128. See that everyone's just killing one another. And so you can just let them do that. So the whole map thing is going to shrink. So where am I on the map? I'm there. Oh yeah, here's my, oh, here we go. My PUBG, patented PUBG strategy. You stay just out of it and then you go in right when it's about to shrink. So it removes any possibility of people picking you off unless they're doing the same thing, which most people won't do that. I almost don't even want to do that. Like, I'm obviously at a disadvantage. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really need to heal though. I'm just like very strategic minded, but not very actually good at combating games like this. Like, for example, I suck at aiming, but you can make up for that. Of course, here there's a bit more of an AoE aspect to it, but still. Skill not yet available. Oh, I keep doing shift to do that instead of... It'll play like a stealth mage. This is definitely a cool system. Even just the base active of, you know, aiming with the spells is satisfying. Seems like somebody maybe died to leave that there, but then nobody picked it up. There shouldn't be as much like sniping in this then though, because like, you know, from halfway across the map. Storm closing in.
Get moving, Breaker. The spell storm's coming.
Yeah, that's what they would expect me to do though. Let's see, how long does it actually take to go ahead and consume that. I see some chaos out there, so let's just get out of there. Like, I guess I don't even know how many people are in this though. That's what I don't get. Rare, epic. I mean, epic is better than rare in most contexts, I suppose. Sometimes you get distracted by stuff like that and then you get killed. Where even is the storm though? I don't get it. Or will I just die instantly? You never know exactly how the mechanic's gonna work here. Spellstorm closing, but where? Oh, I see the blue now. So yeah, stay directly out of it. So you're not in the... You're in the eye of the storm, but you're not in the fucking heat of battle at least. People are going nuts over there. It's almost like just avoid combat, but I don't really want to do that either. You won't have the chance to experience it that many more times ever. Go around a little bit. This is kind of a nice area where you could potentially fall in and die, I'm assuming. Just spam all the abilities, I don't even really want to fight, but I don't know how you can tell, like, on the radar where people are and stuff. Like, where could he have gone? Oh, shit. But see, I'm close enough where this won't be that big of a deal. I mean, I'll have to do that, I guess, but see, who's going to be here trying to kill me? Okay, it's a little bit more punishing than maybe I would expect, but that's fine. You stay within range, so the point is I'm safe from at least getting killed by a person, because why would anybody be stupid enough to do that? So now you have a minute 13 before it even starts to come in. Although I guess the first one's very slow because it starts from like way further outside. What are these things? Like, why is it small armor thing? You gotta be careful doing those animations, and you gotta be careful being out in the open like this in the first place. I don't know what that big glowing thing in the middle is there. There's probably different objectives. Somebody just killed themselves. On marbles, kills on marbles. Yeah, we're gonna have to move in at some point here, at least. Of course, the loot probably keeps getting better as you go inside, so people would argue that to try to counter my whole idea, but it's fine. Everybody's just gonna be a tryhard, though, I bet. Or it'll be one extreme or the other, right? People who have been playing the game since the day it came out and this and that. I don't know what that is, though. Am I supposed to go in there? Am I not supposed to go in there? either people will be tryhards who have played the game, you know, every day since it's come out, all day, every day, or they'll be like me, just trying it for the first time because they hear it's about to go down. There won't
Move. The spellstorm's closing.
be as much in the middle. All right, so stay right around the edge here. This guy has the same idea. He's kind of going outside. I just can't actually get a kill though. Like it's too, they're gonna have like a fallback. It's best just to go in like that guerrilla warfare and then just get out of there. If I stay and try to fight, I'm just gonna die. Colossal damage, yeah. Gonna need some kind of potion or something too. I'll go inside this a little bit. Level up. I can't really tell what some of these are better or worse than the others, but I almost don't even care to an extent. I am good at getting the jump on people like that, right? In every instance, whether it be in Fortnite or PUBG, I'm always like the first one to strike, but because my aim and my whole mechanics are so shitty, I still end up losing the fight or it ends up evening out, right? If I was actually good at those other aspects, just mechanically, then I would be amazing because I can always get like a tactical advantage, at least on random people in random games. I'm sure, you know, as you get higher up in ranks and whatnot, that might not be as simple, but there's so many, I think of thousands of instances in PUBG where I get the first strike, but I can't get a headshot or I can't actually kill them. Not because they do anything, they don't even know I'm there. But because I don't make any noise, I'm just like very incognito, pussy play style. So it's gonna be closing in. How do you see how many people are even in here? I guess it says right there 11. So I'm gonna be the last one standing already, just with my patented strategy, even though I haven't killed anybody. It doesn't even tell you like, oh, I guess that's it. I can't even see what I'm doing. Safeguard potion. Is he actually gonna pursue me? Unlike most of these people who kind of just, they do like a little hit and run. Small armor shard. I kind of need a potion or something here. Or I guess that kind of did the trick. Anyway. Okay, so this will be the next one. But you can just see how you can stick around for so long. Now, is this more enjoyable than just going all balls to the wall, going full combat focused, and then dying like super early sometimes? Maybe, but I think there is a certain legitimate strategy in this, right? Like let your opponents destroy each other and then they'll come for you last. I almost feel a little bit safe here, but maybe not. Like just keep an eye out. And how much more is it really going to shrink? At some point, they are going to force you to. But see, even at that point, I'll still do the guerrilla warfare thing. Like, we'll have a little bout, but I guess you won't have too much room to do it. Consume small health potion. What is that thing? Can I get a beat on them? Let's see where they are. I don't know what that thing is. Like, if you're immune to magic maybe in there. Like, anti-magic shell. Look at this. Look at this. Down to 7. You can say, oh, this is camping, this is pussy play, but wait, where is the next one going to go, though? I'm basically almost in it. But see, this doesn't even help me. Like, oh, you know, I don't know if holding it down longer makes it do more or something. But this is it, dude. There's 7 people left. It's hilarious that you could potentially win. Like, the last 2 people take each other out. It just works. That's the problem with this format. Like, it doesn't matter even if I lose now. Like, I did better than I would have done if I tried to play in the more fun or more aggressive way. Like, it's objectively validated my strategy already. That's why I don't like Battle Royale stuff, because it's just for the wrong reasons that you're able to do this. It's telling me to consume the potion, but why? I think I have 2 of them. I don't know what... already at full armor. Storm closing in.
Get moving, Breaker. The spellstorm's coming.
I would rather die to that than a player, though. Like, how far do I have to go? I'm going to be very exposed now, though. As soon as I go in there, I'll die. Watch. I'll die fucking instantly. Or, like, where does it stop? You can like hide in the rocks. Somebody's gonna totally get me now though. Like just keep waiting. There's 4 people left. There's 4 left. Just get him at the very edge. This is so degenerate, dude. I'm playing. Makes me want to play PUBG again. Finish in the top 3 or top 5 every time, just by fucking doing this. Look at this, dude. This isn't against any kind of rule either. I'm waiting for the opportune moment to strike. So where's it gonna go now? I think it almost can't go any further. Don't even announce your presence. Whoever's left now is actually gonna be good. That's the problem. Or they're gonna be a pussy player like me. You can kind of still dance around the outside a bit, just to get a read on like where these people are. Yeah, I see that guy. I see him. And it's only me, him, and 1 more. To literally let them... How can you get away with this, dude? There's a chance I could actually win if I can just take 1 person out, but I won't be able to even do that. Oh, shit. Oh, now I'm done. I see him. Fuck off. That guy has very little health, but I gave... Oh, see, I lack that killer instinct to just take care of him. Where is he? Where is he? Where the fuck is he?
Moving breaker. The spellstorm's coming.
Did I actually win, dude? First, dude.
Good work out there. A well-earned victory.
Dude, that's actually a rare occurrence to get first place in your first thing. It could just be there's a lot of dog shit players, new players, but even that, so how many people are in that though? That's what I want to know. What is the total? That's actually pretty rare. In all my time playing like Battle Royale stuff, I've never done that in like a first game. But my pussy strategy pays off, but then I still did make it through at the end there. That's amazing. Oh my god. So, yeah, how many people are in it though? It doesn't tell you. I guess you can see it at the beginning. Let me maybe turn something down just because it does seem to be stuttering a little bit. But that's part of the hard mode. Even, we can do a high instead of ultra. Not that that should really matter, but you have to like restart to do it, or maybe it's VSync that's doing it. Okay, maybe we can do another one. I don't see what would really change or what would matter. I can't believe that, dude. Obviously these people must suck, but still, so do I. I was trying to show that, oh, you can get in the top 5, not that you can get number 1. Level 1 player. I mean, sure, you might be getting matched up against players like that too, but so generally the storm closes in a bit more punishingly here than maybe I expected. Like it did a bit more damage than maybe what I'm used to. I think this format is a little bit overused though. Not every game has to have fucking you know, Battle Royale in the same sense. There are other fucking modes you can do. Blame Fortnite. Even though I think it was... Wasn't it like Arma 3 that did it first? That was obviously the Arma 3 mod that turned into PUBG. I think that was still before even Fortnite did the Battle Royale mode, right? Because they had some other mode before that. I think. Maybe I have it backwards, but... it doesn't seem like there's a crafting thing here. Yeah, all this progress is going to be meaningless, though. Man, I wish I didn't play this so late, though. Yeah, when did it come out? Let me actually see. When did Spellbreak release? 2020. Yeah, it hasn't been long at all. What the fuck? 2 years, basically. Like, as soon as I got my PS5, I think I had it on there, or whenever it was released on there, and I still have it sitting on there, but now it's not going to be... Why ruin a good experience by doing it on console? Oh, that could be why, too. I'm playing against filthy console players with their shitty fucking stick aiming, which is only slightly worse than my mouse aiming. Just makes such a big difference. Even if I'm worse on it, like, right, people made the argument, like, with certain single player games, like, oh, but there's auto lock on, like on console. But I'd rather be worse with a mouse and feel like it's a 1-to-1, you feel more in control of it, so it's more immersive, than to sort of, oh, look, I'm getting blackballed because I'm too good. I'd rather have the 1-to-1 and suffer from my poor aim than to benefit from something cheap on console. Or in that case, I would still want to use the sticks and not use auto aim, but she's a little bit too happy there. You can't rotate your character. Why do no games have custom cursors, though? You never want to see your fucking dinky Windows mouse. Just give us like a little fucking magical glove or something. Some sense of identity. So how many people are in one of these matches? It must be at least like 50. I don't know why it's lagging. I'm going to turn on VSync. Video. I mean, it does autocorrect for aim a little bit. Display performance stats. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, why is it fucking lagging? Why is it doing that? It's not like I can do anything about it. User portal.
Consider your options carefully here.
I don't know what the people there means, or I also don't even know what the why, like, the whole top part is completely naked. Like, why can't you choose one of those? I didn't get to choose that last time. I just kind of started falling. I guess it's pointless to even show the performance stats, but, like, for whatever reason, it occasionally keeps doing some derpy fucking lag spike. Maybe it's because the game is dying, but I always give them the benefit of the doubt that it's not that still. It's amazing how that format has completely just, the whole battle royale thing is so overdone. But my strategy was validated the last time, just in the sense that Shadow Step Rune. I guess I don't know what a lot of these things actually do. I just kind of randomly spam stuff at the end there, and it worked, right? Just use all your abilities in the general direction of somebody, and good things can happen. So there's like 40 to 50 people. It doesn't seem like 10 people could have died that fast. It doesn't even show you, like, the whole kill logs and stuff. So the storm doesn't come for a very long time, but I am very far away from it. That guy missed me, I guess. I don't even know where he is. It's very easy to get out of there, right? If either you're doing like the guerrilla warfare stuff yourself, or you're just trying to avoid them. You can get a shot and then just go away, and they can't catch up. So the mobility is kind of not really even limited, but it's just kind of equalized. There's nothing they can do to just close the gap. Or there is no way to even sprint, because obviously we keep making that mistake of pressing shift. So I never like to be out in the open too much, even with lag against me. First time player, yes, #1 rank. I'll do it again too, or at least I'll be in the higher tier, right? Like, I'm not gonna fucking die now. It's just impossible. Although the lag is not appreciated. I turn the fucking settings to low, like as if that should even matter. Moon people, 3 gremlin. So maybe there aren't so many tryhards as I think, because all it takes is one tryhard to, guarantee the outcome of the match. Like, we can just ignore what's happening here. It doesn't have any meaning to me at all. There's no reason to get involved in that. Let them destroy each other. Keep going. Maybe I'll do this a few more times. I kind of want to just do like one episode of it just so I can say I did it, but I guess they don't really give a good reasoning for like why they're shutting it down. Probably just obviously it didn't make enough money or whatever. And their way of doing that isn't to milk people at the end to try to buy stuff. They're actually disabling it, which is, I mean, obviously they should do that, but
An eye on the storm. It's moving in.
yeah, so we'll wait on the outside until it's like right there, though. You never want to be ahead of it or try to get too overzealous, I guess. Makes it seem like you're supposed to do something with those, but I don't know. Dan the Professional kills Dan the Professional. I don't know what's happening with all these people killing themselves. You can always have the high ground, but it kind of makes you too obvious of a target. I don't know what those things actually are. We'll stay right on the outside, but I'm kind of too out in the open still. It's already down to 26. Yeah, that is the worst kind of player in this. Like, why would you just... I know they want more action, and maybe that's more fun instead of, you know, you could say it's dishonorable to, like, camp or whatever. But when the map is so big, you can't blame me for... Looked like there was something, like, under there, like a shadow. You can't blame somebody for hiding and stuff like that. But the bigger picture point is, why don't you just... you know, do whatever it takes. So sometimes it'll be good to hide, especially when knowing your own limits is the greatest strength of all. So if you are really good at aiming in combat and stuff, then fine, but... You know, just get out of there. You know you're not going to win that encounter, so don't even worry about it. It's just not going to happen. Although it's kind of hard to figure out exactly where he went there. I think I'm inside of it now. I haven't done a very good job looting stuff. I don't know how it works in the radar as far as like seeing people. Probably if something makes a sound, it'll make a little blip. So now we're inside the thing and we can just wait a super long time. It's down to 20. I think we got like maybe 3 kills at the end of the last one. It felt like, even though it seemed like there were only 3 people left, period. Or maybe it shows everybody but you. You might not be included in that, or... Dangerous lunch. This is the Pammy Parmesan. Are these like bots maybe? Maybe these aren't even real players. That would be the only way to explain any... No, but you would think for once at least, even if that was the case, normally there would be players now because, again, they're doing it for the same reason as I am. Just to try it. So 49 seconds is a long time. So, again, I don't like doing this sometimes, but it works. It was clearly validated last time. And you should always be looking around for stuff at least. The chest that doesn't look like it's been opened, but I can't open it. Yeah, how would anybody be able to pick me off from here anyway? I just love the core thing of just how the shooting the magic field. But you really got to, you know, single player games have to take note of it and just incorporate that. This is why multiplayer ruins everything. If it was a single player game, you could just play it whenever you want. Storm closing in, but in what direction?
The storm's closing in.
Yeah, too bad I can't sprint. Plus, you're gonna get are these derpy little dashes here forward. Definitely having some kind of minor performance issues, but it's all right. So it won't let you downgrade in too meaningful of a way. So you would think nobody would be waiting, like a highway bandit, just waiting for you to cross into the safe zone because they're worried about their own safety. Level 3, but that's obviously just in the match. That's not overall progress. Okay, so just wait around the inside. Here, there's only 10 people left. And so now it becomes kind of the similar scenario where, you know, like, why would you seek people out? It's not even like, oh, I'm trying to avoid people. The statues almost gave me a heart attack there. But you just got to take the encounters when they come. I don't have any potions here, which came into handy. Oh, shit, you ask and you receive. But I always like to get it beat on people. Like, you'll see somebody walking by, and they won't see you. So that's the best tactical advantage you can get. So we have a whole minute 15, so I don't even have to move from here. See, I see somebody there. I saw them all the way there. So now I see them, and they don't see me. And so you can plan it out or just stay away. There's no way they could have seen me, in fact. I'll wait a little bit. Trying to make myself too obvious. I see somebody floating around there. Hold to swap ×2. Large chest. I'm assuming this is all going to just be better stuff. And as you get closer to the middle here, you would think, well, how would it know that? I guess it knows at the beginning of the match, like, where the center is going to eventually end up. And so that would dictate where the better loot is going to go. Epic Toxic Gauntlet. I don't know why it matters. Like, why wouldn't that just be objectively better then? Because it won't let you downgrade, but it should make it obvious that that's an upgrade. I guess it's a preference of what abilities you want and stuff too. The Q is always going to be fire. That's just based on the fact that
the spell storm is moving.
I'm a pyromancer, I guess. This makes me way too obvious of a target. Where the high ground kind of is a backfire. Is that a person? What was that? Oh, definitely don't die from fall damage or something. Just stay away, backpedal. Right, pursuing people always seems like the wrong way to go about it, but hey, if it works, you can't blame somebody if they're winning. The 5 people left. Let's just be all sneaky about it. So where is it going to go next from here? You can kind of guesstimate a little bit, but I have a good perch here to be able to see people. 5 left. So I think it's somewhere between 40 and 50 people in each match. Aegis Warden. Some of these names almost make it seem fake. He doesn't know I'm here. I don't know if he's even dead or what happened. First exile, I'm assuming, killed one enemy. Or exiled one enemy. Yeah, you wait for them to come to you. 1 kill, 3 people left. Now, I don't know whether one of them is me or what. Okay, this guy seems kind of good. He's not letting me get away in the same way that the other people would. Like, here's where you just get out of there for a second. Use the... I love the levitate thing. There's so many good dynamics you can do with it. And so we just kind of back off. See, that guy evoked at least a little bit of fear in me. Like, I don't want to fucking just take that guy one-on-one. He's obviously at least a little better than most of these people. Yeah, there's definitely a guerrilla warfare. I don't know what that is. Are those people? Those are like... Kind of juked him a little bit, so he's outside of the thing now and I'm inside of it, I guess. Just spam the thing, whatever. Get out of there. 1500 damage. I don't know why he keeps spamming me with those prompts. Like, just tell me when I get it. Don't tell me every time I do a little bit of damage how much progress I made. So there's only 3 people left. And we're inside the safe zone. And so... I mean, the dream would be they just kill each other, or at least weaken. The, you know, one kills the other and they're in a weakened state. That is a genius way to do things here. Why is it still coming in if you... It shouldn't be moving yet. It should be... It does it only when the timer runs out, I thought. Or maybe not. But see, you long dick it, you slow pace it as long as you can, so that you absolutely cannot... And to find out all these people are bots or something. Those might be like the last 2 people, like right there.
Time to move. The spell storm's closing.
They're so focused on each other, they won't even bother with me.
Move quickly. The storm's closing in.
How could it be closing in anymore, dude? We're at the max thing. Where are these people? Oh, this is kind of a very open space that I don't like, though. Oh, shit. Here we go. This is my weakness, kind of where you're just exposed. It's a 1v1. You can't hide. There's nothing. We're going out into the fucking thing, too. I can't even see him. I don't even know. Kind of a bad timing, bad decision. I don't know where he went, even. You should never dash out into the open. Where the hell is he? He was right there. I mean, you can obviously still go out of that to strategically do stuff. I don't know where he went. I think I see him there. Shit. I can't even see anything. Winner won the match, but I fell through the fucking thing. So what happened?
Nice work, Breaker.
This is almost too easy.
Has served you well.
How did that happen? I fell through the thing. You must have either died to the aura or something I did without me even knowing. Is that actually... Exiles 1. Damage dealt 301. Was I actually first place? New talent Rebirth. Either I'm playing against bots or just a lot of new players who don't know what they're doing, but that's not even an excuse because... Was that actually first? Would it show you like your history? That seems kind of unbelievable. Of course, my strategy is paying off, but he wouldn't have to necessarily do it that way even. These people are so bad. There is no match history even, huh? And it shows an exclamation, but there's nothing to even look at there. You give me some bonus cosmetic for that. Or you know what this kind of reminds me of is a smite, because that's like a more hands-on thing of like League or whatever, but where you actually have to aim stuff and you move around kind of in a third-person perspective, not like a bird's eye view. So you do have these. This will just change like your default. Now I almost don't want to change because I've been, you know. What is exactly the main difference? It starts with a rumble, a quake beneath your feet. The earth begins to crack, dark jagged lines across the ground. Boulders fall and crash. After the avalanche, only the stone shaper remains. Ironic, because we kind of fell into the rocks the last one and we still apparently won. Conduit. The power of lightning and deadly might. The conduit knows these dangers all too well. Electricity that flows through their veins, that shoots from their fingers, a paralyzing thrill. The path. Why is it always just the same guy? The toxicologist. Path of a toxicologist is a strange one. Petrid fumes hide you should you outlast its sting. Cold toxins protect you should you learn to love its bite. Can you become a pure poison? It almost makes it sound like a healing thing. You can mess with these. I almost don't even care too much, but I should try other ones, I guess. I don't even really want to do that. Like in multiplayer, I'm more of a 1v1 type of fan, or at least, you know, you want to go against people, not like free for all. How do I change that again? Wait, how do I change the class? Cosmetics. Why would it be in cosmetics? We've seen that. I guess I don't know what the difference is. Like, it's okay to change the outfit or whatever. I guess that's just the default. I don't know what the difference is even really going to be. Because a lot of the abilities are defined by your, I guess just the base abilities, right? Like Q and stuff would be different. But... Boulder, oh, here we go. Boulder fall. Throw a massive boulder towards your opponent. Shockwave causes an eruption. A fast-moving earth around on the ground. So there's always going to be like one base shot ability and then one base AoE ability of some kind, like the flame wall. But see, the other stuff is not going to matter. Like all the other abilities I had came from the gauntlets and stuff that I pick up. So Ice Skate for 20 seconds. Mage Reach rank 4 to unlock. So unless this is like a more limited range type of thing, maybe you trade range for damage, because that one seemed very favorable. Even like with the flame wall, you could just do it from pretty far away. I'll try this other guy's cosmetic thing, I guess, for it, just to mix it up a little bit. I should just try at least every class a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty good. I just feel like maybe the lobbies are pretty shitty. Like, even though I'm, you can say, oh, you should be happy that you're winning, but I'm not good enough to, do that in most games. So obviously, these lobbies just suck. I'll even admit it. There's no way that I should be able to do that, even with my patented strategy that works in like every single thing. I should try that in Fortnite more. I never really played Fortnite that much, but like in PUBG, that was a genius, brilliant thing. And I would learn the maps in such a way that I could really do it. I could kill literally like 0 people and win the game because they just wouldn't be able to find me, or they'll take each other out, or I'll kill somebody, but they'll be like super low by the time I get to that point. Gonna make me do a custom cursor just because I get triggered by this. You don't want to feel like you're in Windows, dude. You want to immerse yourself like you're in this universe and give me like one of these gauntlets. You're trying to tell me out of all the cool gauntlet things you have in this, you couldn't make one or maybe I have to buy it like as a cosmetic. Will it take me out of the queue if I do that? No. Good. You can emote while you wait. One hand wave. No. Yes. Locked, 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 locked. Like how Dark Souls even had emotes, but I guess obviously that's for the multiplayer element. But then I turned it into almost like an RP thing in the single player, like where you can, commemorate a moment, or, before you go into a boss, you do like a little thing giving the eulogy to Tark and the Smelter Demon. 1500, so he keeps wanting to spam me of that. It seems like there's very few people even playing, which is surprising considering the fact that you would think this would almost be the best time for it ever, because, this is going to be your last chance. So if you don't try it, you won't get to. But for all I know, it could be. I should actually look up some of the stuff that I'm curious about, even though I normally like staying in the dark. Put a rain on my parade that bots and Spellbreak will help fill lobbies when they're not enough lower difficulty bots. Bots are not added to other game modes. It almost seems like it, but there must at least be some players in there. It couldn't just be. Clearly, those people at the end could not have been bots. Like, just the way they were. Well, theoretically, yes, but the way they were moving and stuff. Not even that it's so good, but it's so unique, right? They were doing things that only people would do, for better or for worse. 3 minutes in a queue, though. This is odd. Maybe I am alone in this last second thing. Everybody who wanted to play the game has already played it. Like a 4-minute queue. I don't know what the big difference is going to be. Just like, oh, this is not my style, though, because it's too slow. It takes too long to get there, and it announces your presence. Oh, I hate this. Fuck. Gotta go hard mode because it was too easy with that chick. Oh, this sucks. You can't be subtle with this. Like, hit somebody way over there. It takes like a fucking hour to do it. I guess it is kind of fast once it gets going, but... Oh, this is gonna be too... You're not really aiming. You're kind of just thrusting it in a general direction. So this, you would have to almost be more aggressive, or... This will almost be like a tank kind of class. This is like a tank ability in Overwatch. There's like 40 some odd players. You're invincible here anyway. It doesn't even matter. You just kind of spam this. You go ahead and do the Q. I don't know why we're getting a little bit of stutters and stuff here and there. What is that? Oh, I guess it's doing nothing because it doesn't know what you would have. So it's just like some kind of default, like using your fucking dinky wand or something. I don't know how it really decides this. Fever Ridge. I'm actually okay with maybe the default one. Just kind of off the beaten path a bit. You can't seem to choose any on the left side, so I don't know why that is. And the circle starts to close in towards the center, so you would never be able to go there anyway. So I don't get the point of that. Yeah, so let's go away from that clown and work our way back in very slowly. Or unless those are like just cosmetic areas, it almost doesn't seem like you could get there even if you wanted to. You can't seem to move as much, you know, guide yourself as much in this as you can in a lot of games. The problem is you might start so far away that it's hard to even get back. So falling through that stuff would have killed me, like, I think. But somehow we clutched it and won midair, which I certainly was having issues even seeing what was going on there. So that was kind of my nightmare situation. Doesn't seem like there's really fall damage. But obviously, if you... So Aegis Warden is probably not a person. But Ice Cream Cone Sandwich probably is. String Cheese Reactor. How would I even know if I'm playing against people or not? Dr. Soup. But why would it make you wait in a queue time and stuff? I kind of do want to pick a fight. We've already placed one once at least, so why even worry about it? So how far would we have to go? We'd have to go halfway across the map. So it is kind of pointless to even fight here. But yeah, this is definitely not my type of class. Oh, I should have to get first place with every single class at least once. That should be a challenge. But I don't really care. I mean, it should happen anyway. I should just get first place every game because I'm so good. These environments and whatnot are pretty good. I love the levitate and the way that can mix up the combat for sure. Makes you feel like certain classes or certain characters in Overwatch, for example, like Pharah or whatever the fuck. No gauntlet, so maybe that's a mistake of mine. But you always got to be willing and able to get out of situations like that, right? Don't just stay there and then they're unlikely to pursue you, or even if they do, they're even more unlikely to catch up. I don't have all the time in the world to get there, but I do like to cut it a little bit close. This should be like something rare, but you can't even open it. I don't get that. Small armor shard. It's just always a shame. Like, I always wonder what mechanics like this would be in a single player game. Because sometimes games like this do have better. Upgrades your mind talent. Okay, so I at least have a gauntlet. I don't even know exactly what it's going to do. I haven't used the right click very much. I keep doing, obviously, left click Q and E and shift, I guess. Which was like...
It's moving in.
Shift was like the transformation thing that I did before. Gotta watch out. There's gonna be people skulking around. See, I'm almost deliberately just ignoring that person, but I kind of want to be more aggressive here. I just feel like I'm always the one getting the jump on other people. They rarely get it on me. That doesn't mean they don't still just wreck me, but... It just seems to make sense to play like that, because it is literally you against everybody. So why would you seek conflict out? Just kind of react to it, or go like guerrilla style. Epic Fire Gauntlet. I guess Frost seems interesting. I don't know exactly what this ability would do, but... These forts I kind of don't like because they're just too conspicuous a little bit. I don't know if I'm hitting them from that far away even. I didn't kill anybody, but see, you can just do that and then cut out a little bit, then switch around. Want to get the beat on somebody and catch them off guard. We're gonna go inside now, although the storm is still a little bit ways away. Bedrock on cast, crash to the ground. You would think most people would be heading even further now. They wouldn't just stick around the way that I am inclined to do. Thanks for the follow always. How's it going? You want to come in like this. I really don't like this class's abilities though, but I guess I should try them all. Just the way it announces your presence so much is kind of obnoxious compared to just shooting the fireballs. Was nice. I'm not sure how the poison one is going to work either. Although that seems kind of like my style. Just kind of duck in, poison them, get out. Assuming it does like damage over time. And then just keep harassing them like that. So we can wait a little bit. I love how proven that strategy is in every fellow breaker. Unfortunately, not for long though. I mean, well, we got like a month left. How long have you been playing it for though? I always wanted to play it, but I just never had time and I never got around to it. Oh shit. Armor shard. I keep forgetting to even look at my armor. So how many of these people are bots, do you think? Because it does seem like... Because obviously I'm not very good, but yet I'm still placing pretty high. Although part of that is just me being a pussy. Playing for like a year and a half. Nice. Level 3. See, I kind of don't like these open encounters here. It's a little bit too much going on. Although it is pretty epic even just to watch. But why would I want to get involved in that? I'm not going to survive it.
Get moving, Breaker.
A lot of them, yeah. See, that's my humility coming into play. It's not that I'm so good that I can just win my first match. It must be that I'm just playing against fucking bots. It makes it too obvious. I don't like this position. Let's just jump down there. So we want to go in a little bit, but not all the way. In fact, I'm way too far. This kind of goes against my whole strategy of kind of edging around the outside and letting everyone else take care of each other. So I've gotten very few kills in these games, but I'm still placing very high or just outright winning. Most solo matches only... Really? 2 to 3 players. Depends on time of day. You play the same way. Wow, really? Then why does it make me wait like 4 minutes if there's only 2 to 3 players? That's weird. You would think it'd at least be like half and half. Maybe I should do like a 5v5 match, like a team match. Because then it would have to be guaranteed that that everybody's a player, I would think. Yeah, that always served me pretty well in PUBG, because I was never good at aiming, but you can always just kind of, you know, slow pace everybody else. This is a very conspicuous spot to be in. Alright, we go in here. This almost makes me want to play Overwatch 2, just because, I don't know, I don't play multiplayer games like this too much, honestly. I'm more a fan of like turn-based stuff like card games and whatnot. Rare Chronomaster Rune. What you can't really do is mouse over your abilities as you're doing this, so you would just have to try them. I haven't used my right click very much ever. I imagine that does a bit more damage or something. I keep just spamming, obviously, the left click, which is, you know, doesn't seem to really cost anything or have any cooldown ever. Although with this one, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So what is going on here? There's 9 people left. You would think I would see somebody around here. It's amazing that you can just win so easily like this, though.
Move quickly. The storm's closing in.
I guess you can't even see like the list of names or whatever, so you wouldn't know even who's a bot or not. But you can tell kind of, obviously Aegis Warden is not a person. It's the same for duos and squads. It's just that not a lot of people play the game anymore, really. Then how come it seems like so many people are sad about it going away if nobody's playing it? That's kind of an oxymoron. That's how I even heard about it. Like, oh, the game's going down. And everybody's outraged, but no one's actually still active. They're just outraged in principle, I guess. Consume armor shard. It doesn't. This lag must somehow be on my end, but I don't know why. Like, it keeps stuttering a little bit. All right, here we go. We've been waiting long enough. Equal opportunity. I don't even know what happened there exactly, but it looked like it didn't hurt me too badly. It's very hard to hit with that, actually. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work if you're, like, on different elevations. Yeah, see, everyone has that same guerrilla warfare mentality where, like, you engage, but then you go away. You don't just try to chase. You just get a little shots here and there. Although this can go pretty far sometimes. Maybe I'm underestimating the range even if this left click. Oh shit. There's just too much going on. So you just gotta get out of there, get out of there. Somehow I didn't take any damage there at all though. And they're not paying me a whole lot of attention. Hit him with this stupid rock when he's not paying attention. Yeah, it just seems like the range on this isn't always the greatest. Or my armor must be tanking. Could be bots though. Most real players will chase. Mostly the people playing are streaming at the same time. So when you see people streaming, that's when you know people are on. Yeah, why is he just standing there doing nothing? See, now I'm chasing a little bit too aggressively, but... where'd they go? Okay, that must be a bot or something, though. How could they be so passive and not even trying to fight back? Nice find, equipped with a legendary item. Now it's not even a case like, oh, the state of the game was better back in the good old days, people will say, but like, there were actually people playing, period, I guess. Now I'm chasing one while I'm getting attacked by another, which is not really what you should be doing. Use some kind of teleport thing. Yeah, imagine if MMO combat was like this. If you play as a mage, this is what it would feel like. That's what MMOs have to get to, regardless of what. Yeah, like melee combat like chivalry, and magic play like Spellbreak. That should be the new standard for any sort of MMORPG, but I don't think we're quite there yet. And gunplay like an actual, you know, proper first-person shooter for like a hunter or whatever. So it's not going to go much farther here.
Keep an eye on the storm. It's moving in.
Could be bots. I think most of these are bots. It says there's only 2 left. I'm not even really that intimidated by it. Yeah, how is this ability even going to work, like in the air and stuff? I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, it does seem to have disadvantages in that way. Top 6. But how is it top 6 if I'm literally top 2? I guess it probably only tracks that. Report legit. Yeah, everybody will be pissed that they lost. So they report him. Definitely not my kind of class, though, because it's too restricted with the elevations. Skip. Let me try maybe the team thing, even though... experience? Yeah, it wouldn't matter. I'm very dissatisfied that I'm not going to be able to play it in the future. How about that? I feel like I've already seen everything in the game. I don't feel like I'm getting better. I don't like the way matchmaking works. Not enough. None of my friends play. Opponents I face are too skilled. I don't like the maps. I don't like how gameplay feels. Technical issues. It's about to fucking not exist. That was a real yeah, that was at least. Okay, I'll try this one. Unranked or custom. Let's just see it. Although I'm usually not a fan of these type of modes anyway. Because yeah, I bet if I was the fire one, I wouldn't have been so, you know, unable to hit him. Oh wait, am I playing as the same class though? I keep forgetting. You have to go to cosmetics, it seems like, to change it. Stone Shaper, or I'll try all of them. Whoops. Cosmetics are going to be the same, so you can't buy stuff with real money, but you can still buy stuff with gold or whatever. Conduit, the Power of Lightning, Deadly Might. This one should be similar. In fact, I think most classes are going to be better than that, range-wise. That's like almost a close range, like a tank type of class. I haven't heard much about Overwatch 2 either. Like, it had a shitty release, and then I don't know what happened to it. That's gonna be dead as well. 1.9 rating. Holy shit. That's probably the best thing they did about the original, was just like charge a flat rate up front, and so it's not as microtransaction based over time. The minion queue time might out because of no players. You select your gauntlet once the match begins. I'll give it a shot for like 4 to 5 minutes. The other, I'm surprised it's this dead. At the very least, you would think people would be doing what I'm doing, which is just to try it. So that would bring an influx of players in. Deal 1,500. Still haven't done that. Mastery is like where you get to choose your little talents or whatever. 50 gold. Or no, this will be like the reward track in a way. Toxicologist, Conduit. Yeah, see, that's where the whole bot thing has like the inverse effect. It doesn't mean anything to win if you're winning against bots. I want to get my ass beat, but just, you know, it'll feel more meaningful by actual try-hard players who've been playing this since day one, and they'll just destroy their computer when it goes down. Like, because they're that into it. Which every game has that kind of following. That's how I kind of felt in Dota 2 or whatever. Or no, it must be the original Dota. Like, where the game was so dead and it was so hard to find a match or whatever. But then when you did get a match, it's against like a level 500 crazy guy who's been there like, you know, super hardcore. So whoever is still playing is hardcore, and hardly anybody is playing, period. Look at the past broadcasts on Twitch. You'll see most of the players. I'd be on right now, but I got to go to work. Play mostly on weekends. Yeah, even Alex Botez played Spellbreak at some point, I think. Hikaru played Valorant, and Botez played Spellbreak. I know that. And Anna plays Magic pretty regularly. It seems like, at least. Stardew Valley. I like when these chess streamers break out and play different things, though. Who would have thought chess would have been the big thing on Twitch for a while there? Okay, 3 minutes. I'll go up to 5 minutes, I guess. Can't believe I actually lost one in a game mostly of bots, it feels like. You can just tell by the username, usually. Although one day, these games are going to get so advanced that they can trick you even that way. They'll make usernames that sound like real people's names, like totally not fake person 674. Just put like random combination of numbers. Like you slam your head against the keyboard. Those are the kind of names that people come up with. Because that's what I always make fun of, people with numbers in their names. But technically, my name has a number in there too. Usually, One Quiet Gamer, like. But it's not the number one, it's the, you know, spelled out fully. Unless the character limit doesn't allow it, then I have to put the number like a clown. It'll time out at 7:29. Really? Well, let's hope it doesn't get there. Yeah, it is interesting to compare, like, all the different magic systems that you see in games. Like, in Dark Souls, the melee combat is actually amazing compared to most games, but the magic is kind of okay. You just kind of target stuff and rely on that. It's kind of hard to free aim stuff. Skyrim's magic is actually kind of decent, the way that you do kind of free aim and whatnot. But it is interesting to see like a game built just around that idea. It would be kind of cool to see like in whatever, the Harry Potter game that's going to come out, to see how that magic is, or when they fully dedicate, because normally it's like an afterthought. Either most games are more melee focused, or they just don't care about it, or it relies on, like I said, some kind of targeting system. Free-form aiming is very important, I think, or you don't have this much mobility, I guess. We're almost at that point. 7 minutes. That's too bad. I should have just played it when it first came out. That's always the best time. Although that can sometimes be the worst time, because it might be buggy and, you know, unrefined. So like not right when it comes out, but a little bit after it comes out. Not when it's about to die. Well, to be fair, those were taking like 4 minutes anyway. It was a pretty big category on Twitch for a while, too. That's the first auto search suggestion. Are there bots? 11 hours? What, I'm the only one? Wait, that's impossible. What is with me playing all these dead games like Pokemon TCG Live? There's like nobody... I find that hard to believe. It's really that dead of a game. I'm the the top streamer in a category, which is not because I'm getting a ton of viewers, but because it's just that underplayed. It was much different when it first came out. Honestly, the movement was always beautiful. I'm very surprised by that. Just for the novelty. I guess I am just late to the party. Anybody who was interested would have played it by now. That's too bad. So I assume like if some big streamer is playing it, that'll bring a lot of people to play, right? Just to play against them or something at that time. But in general, this is the actual real player's experience, which is why I'm deliberately a small streamer, just to see what it's like to experience things as a normal person. What the fuck? Yo, let's get to the 7-minute 29 mark. I guess I'll just try every class at least. I thought I would do this a bit longer, but... We tried the rock one, I don't like at all. The stone shaper. I love the first one. Was really good. Just because of the range of every ability was so good. Or, I mean, the base fireball or whatever. I just want something you can spam. Oh, I thought it was supposed to time out at 7:29. Huh. Let's do this one, and then we'll do, what class are we? We are the electric one. Then we'll have Toxicologist, Frostborn, and Tempest. Frostborn definitely seems cool because... Oh, wait, did I accidentally choose that? It seems like I choose it almost from there. Then once you go in... No, it still says Stone Shaper. Oh, you can do it here. Rank 1. Like, I'm always in favor of some kind of unique mechanic in one of these games. Like, how many games that are shooters can people play before they get bored of them? Like COD and stuff. Like, at some point that does start to get boring. Or at some point it'll be so lifelike and, you know, one-to-one that how much more can you do with it? There's like way too many games of that style. So this will take like 4 or 5 minutes. This is great. I sent you a video link in your whispers. It's about the life and death of Spellbreak by one of the veterans of Spelled Right. I guess 2 years isn't too bad of a run, but they should make Spellbreak 2. That'll be the surprise news. Oh, text. Oh my god. What's your favorite class to play as? This is the initial enthusiasm of when people first started playing. This is the developers when they hear they got to keep the game going. This is everybody's. Yeah, why are there so many articles and so much seeming outrage about the game dying then if nobody plays it? That's what I can't reconcile the two. I guess it's like a small vocal minority of people who are very passionate about it, but Blizzard bought them and they ended it. Oh, really? Blizzard bought them out. Ice and Stone. Cosmetics, it doesn't seem to cancel your thing here if you go to a different tab, which is at least good. Yeah, let me look. Like, what are the most popular multiplayer games? Minecraft in its own unique way. Rocket League. Like, what is something new, though? Like, there's too many of these that have been around for a long time, or too many that are just sequels. World of Tanks. Valheim, but that's also... Isn't that also just single player? Single player or online co-op. So yeah, that would be more like a Souls-like Elden Ring type of experience. I wouldn't even want to do Valorant, Among Us. I mean, there's something duplicitous about Among Us because it was out for a long time and it wasn't that popular, and then all of a sudden the streamer sort of hype around it made it so. Rocket League, Rainbow Six, Arma 3, Don't Starve. There's like nothing that's actually just come out. Everything's been out for so long. PUBG still? Damn, that's kind of impressive. There's not many, to be honest. Among Us. Imagine Among Us being up here. Diablo 3. I think that's pretty unlikely to still be the case. And Dota 2. This is making fun of how dead it is, but I guess that was Dota 1. Which is still technically Dota 2 because the original Dota was just a mod in Warcraft 3. That's like saying PUBG is a sequel because of the Arma 3 mod. Streets of Rage. Holy shit, is this just not even gonna let me in? No, this was at least consistently getting matched up. They should let you tab and see like the list of players. It doesn't seem like there's a way to do that. So at least then you would know. You could see like how many actual real people are in this match. And like that's the biggest news story that they had to announce. Not a new expansion, just like we're taking the servers down in January. And man, I would almost just make that up just to get people to play. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna go down, so you better play it while you can. And then so many people will play it during that time that will decide to keep it up in the first place. It's just a trick. But if that was the case, it didn't work. Because it's like that whole mentality, right? You want what you can't have. You don't want to miss out on something or feel like, oh, I'll never be able to play it. And then I'll have to hear people talking about it till the end of time. Potential energy. Lightning bolt. Damage 1 every... This is good, I guess. Yeah, anything that has that instant sort of range to it. Or maybe it is just more a visual thing. But that one seemed kind of dependent on the ground. This one you can just do wherever the fuck you want. And so that'll be good. What is Q? Q is going to be like a circular thing and then just a big lightning strike down. Which seems a little bit easier to land than the firewall. Not so much that you wouldn't get the firewall to hit them, but they're not going to just stand in it. Whereas here, if you get it off, that's all you need. Just get it off once and that's good. Shocked myself just to see how it works. I guess you can kind of get an idea here of who the players are because they would actually be moving. I think, and the bots might just be the ones who are standing still, or maybe not. Maybe it's the opposite. Oh, there can always be like cool interactions like that too. Like how if you're in the water, lightning is like super effective or something. Environmental hazards. Or if you're in the grass, you can catch the grass on fire and that creates like an AoE effect.
Choose your
I could choose to just be like as far away as possible from everybody. The problem with that is I might have to cover more ground to get to the actual safe zone, but they give you kind of plenty of time at the beginning. Kind of don't want to mess with these people right there at the beginning. You don't really know exactly where the storm is going to go, but it's usually somewhere around the middle. If you think you'll play this again and would like to do it up, yeah, sure, maybe. Might have to find somebody to do that with if it means you're gonna have to wait this long otherwise. Add you? Okay, I'll add you. Always free running. So I'm super far. Oh no, I'm actually wrong. It's not always in the middle. It's just completely on the opposite side of the map, which would mean that there shouldn't be too many people here in the first place. I think the usernames that are like 2 words where each one is capitalized must be a bot. Maybe. I guess not necessarily, but especially the names with the random numbers in them probably shouldn't be bots, but that could just be part of their genius design to sort of trick me. Well, the potions are actually kind of important. Takes a little bit of time to use them though. Definitely like the core mechanic of it though. I can't complain about that. Thanks. Yeah, see you later. Okay, so I could target this person. It just feels kind of unnecessary because we're both kind of in no man's land, so why even bother? Probably shouldn't just go up like that for no reason though. You can kind of withstand with your armor and then just get out of there. Oh, I forgot to use that actually during the encounter. It is one of those things like where, especially when you don't know what you're doing, just kind of spam everything at the beginning. I don't know the most optimal time and whatnot to use everything. I don't know why the fire one just seemed so much smoother. Like you would just do it and it would just hit them. It seemed like it had a quicker time to get everything off. It's a good way to kind of put space between you, I guess. They were definitely very aggressive, not letting me get out of there. Now, how much is this actually going to give me? Probably not enough. But see, at some point, they just give up. Am I really the only person streaming this? I'm shocked by that. I'm like a master of finding dead games. Even Hearthstone, I was like top 10 or something. Again, not because I have a big audience, but just because nobody's actually playing it. And that's even in the wake of Death Knights or whatever coming out too. Even with some kind of benefit like that, I guess the quote-unquote benefit here would just be the fact that the game is dying and about to be shut down. You would think that would help it in the short term at least. Consume small armor shard. I see no really reason to, but I guess that'll top it off. I don't have any potions or anything, and even though the timer's already done, it's going to take a while for it to even get to me. I definitely lost that encounter, though, in a moral victory sense. Just the idea that, you know, I couldn't seem to do anything to that person. A lot of the time I am getting hit, but I feel like I'm not just because my armor is doing... That's kind of a sick maneuver in the middle of a battle if you can, you know, do a little bit of parkour. Where is he? I don't even see him. Yeah, I don't have any chance in an encounter like that. Why does it say Z now? Z and 4 are just the same. I guess if it's like the only thing you have available, it'll default to Z. So just do that instead of... Which all this would probably be a lot more annoying in console context. And a lot of these mechanics are designed almost with that in mind. Like the idea of the Q, E, whatever. Like you only have 3 major buttons. You know, thinking back to the MMO thing, it's like, oh shit, I might have drifted too far out. You would have like 1 through 10, and then F1 through F12, and then like all these other buttons. You would have like 30 plus hotkeys in a game like WoW just available to you. You could never do that on console. You just wouldn't have enough fucking buttons, period. So that's just an inherent limitation. Of course, this just cuts right through your armor too. But see, sometimes it's even worth it to do this because you just stay away from people. How much did that really hurt? And now I can just pick something up and just use it anyway. This sort of mid-game leveling system is not something that I'm super used to, I guess, in these kind of games. It is kind of rare, actually. That's more like something you'd associate with League of Legends or whatever. That genre of games instead of, like, I guess, Smite. This has a lot in common with Smite. This sort of the hands-on, third-person perspective, everything like that. Of course, you don't have to worry about the stupid minions and stuff. Although, on top of having bots, there were actually seemingly some NPCs too. Like, not even bots acting as the players, but then there's also just enemies, which happens in Fortnite and stuff a little bit too. I forget exactly how it works though. Like, I was one of the last people standing in a, you know, let's say in a Fortnite match, and then you get killed not by a player, but by one of the NPCs who started to come out, just random enemies. Consume small health potion. I guess I can, but maybe I shouldn't. Can't really tell whether that's hitting or not. But again, you just duck in, duck out. I don't want to have like a long encounter with somebody. Definitely been a bit of a potion fiend, but you can't really use them in combat. Why is it even saying get moving? I'm like already too far in by my standard. A lot of shit going on here. Oftentimes the spells themselves obstruct your vision so much. Yeah, there's not going to be any petty fall damage like that. So we're barely on the inside. I always do a little bit of damage like that, but I never get any kills. Or at least it feels like I'm doing damage like that. Maybe I'm just tricking myself. Yeah, see, that's not... That's almost just to keep them away. It's not really to... with the intention of hitting them. Oh shit, they really want the fucking combat here. I just have trouble even hitting anybody at this distance. Come on, there's somebody behind you too. You're just gonna tunnel vision on me. Why is everybody ganging up on me, dude? Maybe it's the bots. Just because I'm a player, they know they need a team to beat me. But it is easy enough to get away, because again, their movement speed is generally not going to be much better than yours. Unless they have some crazy epic boots or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I always lay off and back off at times when I probably don't need to. Come on, he should be dead. He looks so close. Right? Like, what's happening with this person? Probably seems like a bot because they just weren't even paying attention to me blasting them from the side. So maybe I've only killed bots. But no, like, towards the end, like, especially when I got placed first in some of those, there's no way that the last people remaining are bots. Unless everybody is just a bot, or people are actually that bad that they're losing to bots. Any of those could be the case. Storm closing in, but I kind of have disobeyed my strategy a little bit. I don't feel like PUBG ever had, you know, that many bots. if any. In fact, there's a certain integrity to a game when you don't have them ever. And you wouldn't have needed them because that game was so popular for so long. It seems weird, like in these games that actually have pretty big communities, that they would still put in bots. It's just kind of stupid. Like Battlefront did that. It just kind of ruins it because then you feel like, you know, it counts as a kill. They should really separate it. It's okay to have it as part of a mechanic in the level. Like, okay, there'll be a certain number of droids or whatever that are just NPCs, but killing them won't count as a kill like it would on a player. At least you feel like it's a different dynamic. But then sometimes the battles there, I guess, are such big scale that they feel like they have to do it. Somebody just died there as a perfect bait trap to just, you know, lure you in. They'll deliberately, like, not pick it up or whatever. Now, is that actually... That almost seems like those are those NPC enemy type things. Those aren't even players. So why am I even bothering doing that? 26 seconds. It's going to come in a little further now. I guess it's always moving even around the outside, but when it's so far away, you can't even tell. Now you can tell. It's like, oh, it shouldn't move until the timer's up, but it's still kind of closing in, inching in on you. Why is it so stuttery? That could just be something with the game because they've given up on it, I guess. Maybe that's why nobody's playing it. They can't deal with those little stutters and lags, or if it is on my end, I certainly can't explain why. Yeah, I'll try at least every class, but I definitely like the first one a lot. Yeah, it's almost pointless to try to just engage all the time, but oh shit. That's the worst thing that's gonna get you killed, is just the and it got myself turned around there. But they would have never expected me to do something like that, and now I can just pop a potion. There's no way they're gonna pursue me through that. Asteroid field. Warming up. What does that mean, warming up, dude? Yeah, anytime I fight a player, I'm gonna get destroyed. But there's only like 2 people left either. How come I was winning every time when I just played with the report? Just like if you think they're cheating, I guess. I don't know why. That kind of discourages sportsmanship. It's like, oh, you'll just report them because you're pissed for losing. New badge unlocked. Time how to consistently place in the top 5. Just play a dead game that's filled with only bots. The toxicologist. Of course, you choose once you're in here anyway. Toxic cloud. Toss a toxic glob that expands into an armor damaging cloud, so it's not going to do health. Spray multiple toxic streams in front of you, or maybe that just means it damages armor too. Yeah, the first one is definitely my favorite, although the lightning one was fine. Like, the range on that isn't bad. I just hate the stone one because that whole ground play is very slow and predictable, and it really announces your position too. Like, they'll see exactly where it's coming from, and it's just like very, very conspicuous. Almost like it's a team-based one that's meant to be a tank, which would be fine for that purpose, but it's kind of like, it almost seems like you want them to know where you are as you're doing it. I like how half the time it's just going to be me waiting in the queue to sort of show the authentic experience of it. Some people should like this because it's like, you know, what's the expression? Like you're the king of a deserted castle kind of thing. Like where you can always get number 1 and you'll feel like you're the best person. Like Guncraft was kind of like that, where I would always place number 1, not because everybody else was bots, but because everybody else just sucked. And it was such a dead... Not even a dead game, but it was like, I don't know, like the people who were playing it were obviously not very good, or they were just like little kids or something. I don't know. Minecraft fans who wanted to... It was actually kind of a cool idea. Guncraft was like some ripoff of Minecraft where you could like build and it was like a shooter at the same time, where this was way before, you know, Fortnite or anything. So in a sense, it kind of was. I'm sure there were better games like that, Ace of Spades, or this is like way back in the day. I don't know what was the predominant game of that style though at the time. But yeah, you could easily be the best player in a game like that just because nobody takes it seriously, I guess. Rank 4. I don't know what that means. Like, that's just my overall rank. It can't be with one class because or maybe it's just your highest. No, I think it's just your overall thing. Doing 1500 probably shouldn't take this long, but that is just like my style of play, to stay away from everything. I mean, I'm disappointed and surprised that it is so vacant. New Battle Royale Spellbreak, but that's in June 2021. Now, how could that be? June 2021. I thought it was supposed to be 2020 that it originally came out. I don't know how much of a learning curve there really is with some of these abilities. There probably is a lot, but a lot of it does come down to just aim, which of course is not one of my specialties. You would think it'd be better just over time from playing all these kind of games, but it's almost not even something I care that much about. Like, I'm much more of a strategist and just like stay behind and, you know, do kind of weird things that throw people off, which does work surprisingly well because everybody has such a like headstrong mentality. They just want to go straight forward and just, you know, do the most obvious predictable thing. Yeah, I'll try definitely these other classes, which, what are they even? I keep forgetting. Frostborn and Tempest. Thanks, of a toxicologist is a strange one. They hide you, and should you outlast its sting, cold toxins protect you. It makes it seem more defensive minded than what it actually would be, just like doing damage over time or something. Usually around a 5-minute queue time. I can't believe these games just die out like that. I guess maybe it's just a case where the game just doesn't get updated, or it just kind of stays the same. Like, maybe this is how mechanically it was when it first came out. Like, nothing's happened with it. So like, they have a good idea, but then they don't go anywhere with it, which is kind of what I felt like with Overwatch, like where they didn't need to do Overwatch 2. They could have just kept adding heroes and stuff to the original Overwatch, but they kind of just let it stagnate. Sometimes people don't like that either, balance issues, and it feels like a gimmick, but that's the one thing like League of Legends shows you, is like, look how many fucking heroes they added over time, champions. Imagine if Overwatch had even come close to doing that. But instead they'll just re-release the same ones in Overwatch 2 and act like that's a big accomplishment. Which, of course, the mechanics will be different, but oftentimes the one it chooses by default, I don't even mind, but you're not going to know where the circle is going to be. And I don't want to go too central. I guess I'll just do that. Unselected portal. What does that mean, unselected? Cast toxic spray. Q hold to aim toxic cloud. Right click, cast a weak arcane spell, and then until you get the gauntlet. And then of course E is going to be like a cooldown move as well. I never quite know what shift does. Sometimes it does like a transformation, or sometimes it makes you jump up in the air. It just depends on, I don't know why that wouldn't do any damage to you. Just from the look of it, it feels like it should, but there doesn't seem to be falling damage, but you can fall through like the craters and the holes to your death seemingly. Cast Wind Shear. I guess I should test these abilities out, but I also don't like announcing my presence. Let's actually try to get place number 1, which we did do in our first 2 games as that Pyromancer class. Maybe that is just my fucking meant to be. Regardless of the bots, you know, it's not like I've done that in every game now. The Stone Shaper definitely just feels like my kryptonite. It seems like it would be good maybe in team type battles if you were able to just Okay, so we're already there. So this is the time where you kind of just wait. You want to wait in such a spot that you're not super obvious to see. Because even the act of picking up items makes it clear that you've been there. What you need in one of these games is like... actually a lot less mobility, so you can't just go in and out of encounters. That would have a certain merit too, like a very melee focused game, battle royale, where mobility is limited and slow, so that you're forced into better positional play where you can't just zip around the map and stuff. So your position would matter a lot more, kind of like in real life almost. You can't just fucking teleport around like old school. I guess even Chivalry combat is kind of like that. Or what was that other game? Nidhogg or not. Oh yeah, Nidhogg is kind of like that, but what's that other game that's kind of like Chivalry, but I forgot. Let me guess, that one probably went down too before I ever really played it. Yeah, this I actually never played, not even once. Oftentimes I'll say, oh, it's my first time playing it, but maybe I played it like just a very little amount, like with Magic or with Duel Links. I had like a brief first experience that I didn't really get too immersed in. So then when I actually play it for the first time, it's like it feels like it's the first time because I don't really know what the hell I'm doing anyway. And of course, I hate to look stuff up. So I'm not going to come in like some kind of expert who knows all the meta strategies and stuff. I just wonder how the real, well, like the in real life Magic community feels about a game like Arena. They probably, I would assume, look down on it, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad. How long before that game dies too? I mean, I'm impressed that Hearthstone is even still as active as it is. It's been like almost a decade. Is that a person or what was it? I thought I saw some movement there, but it could just be one of these prompts or something. Getting scared by a prompt. You could just be a total pussy. This tends to work pretty well. Just let everyone else die to the storm or to each other. I guess I was trying to be a bit more aggressive with that stone class, but I almost felt like I had to be because that ability is so stupid. Just the way it, you know, works on the ground is kind of counterintuitive to how spells work. You should easily be able to get out of there, and then you can just re-up your armor. It's very hard, seemingly, for people to chase. Armor shard, or the small armor shard, would be good, too. So as long as you keep picking those up, you'll be in good shape. It does actually make quite a bit of difference, the amount that the armor actually absorbs. Although some things seem to just go right through it. Like they'll do health anyway. At least the little storm does that. I like how all these games just call it that too. Like, when do we get a game where it actually makes more logical sense what it is? It's not just this magical wall. It's like actually a real storm, or actually a real, you know, something that makes more logical sense in the universe. I guess here they could just explain it as magic, but it's like that's the irony of these whole universes. In universe, even if you win, you're still gonna lose, because like, oh, the storm's just gonna keep coming in and kill you. So you're the last one standing. You survived like 5 seconds longer than everybody else, but then you're still gonna die afterwards. Like on the victory screen, that's what should happen. It's like a comic relief. You see yourself celebrating on the victory screen, and then the storm keeps coming and you have nowhere else to go, so you just die. The act of you killing the last person isn't going to just magically cause the storm to stop. I don't know exactly how the poison things work, but at least it has a good radius. I mean, they all seem to, but that stone thing I'm not the biggest fan of. Those big battles of like 4 people fighting 4 people would be kind of cool. But you're not going to see... We've seen a few of them occur even in this mode, but you're not going to see them usually until you play in the... whatever, the 5v5. which of course I tried to, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be active enough. I'm kind of seeking out my own demise here. He had no idea I was there, but I can't take advantage of that enough to actually do anything. I'm shocked that he was able to hit me. And he's shocked at how bad my aim is. So I have the ability to shock my opponents even if I'm not the fucking right class to officially do it. I'm not using the levitate as much as I could, I guess. Yeah, I distracted him long enough. Now we're both kind of caught in a bad spot here. It doesn't seem to move too fast, but kind of got to go just in a straight line. So there is no way to sprint, but you have this little dash as compensation, I guess. But why is he even doing this when... Like, why is he even going in that direction? They're going away from the... Why would you do that? I guess I still stayed generally within my armor in doing that. I think falling down there will actually kill you. Or at least at the very end of my second win, it seemed like that's what was about to happen. I just almost fell right in. Or I did fall in, but then somehow the other guy must have just died. Imagine if the storm was just closing in there and he died to the storm, but the act of me falling into the hole to my death in a different way caused me to actually avoid dying to the storm. But I don't think that's what it was. He must have just died to some other shit. Or he was trying to predict where I was going and I baited him to do that. Yeah, the amount of armor they have is not really going to allow me to do a whole lot to them. Although one of these moves actually specifically says, right, it is made to combat armor. So maybe that's how every class is to an extent. Sometimes backpedaling is good just to keep an eye around you. It seems like the radar doesn't do too much for you though, or at least I don't look at it during combat to like show you where people are, even if you've seen them or even if you hear them. You're gonna hang around the outside, but I won't go in until it's really time to go. My armor is full, my health is almost full. That's kind of too valuable to use though, I think. I guess it doesn't really matter though. Somebody must have died here at some point. So they're like way ahead of the curve. I don't know how I lost armor there just by, or maybe it somehow increased my max capacity of armor by getting better pieces of gear. Hey, you want to give me some lore about what the Spellstorm actually is? Because that's always the deadliest enemy in these games. It's not the actual players, it's just the fucking storm itself. It's a very contrived mechanic in any of these games. PUBG, like, it's just there, and you just have to deal with it. It's always a mod that starts this madness. Arma 3, like, leading to PUBG and a lot of this stuff, or, you know, obviously Dota, leading the League of Legends. It's a fan-made fucking mod. Because really, that whole Dota format was pretty original to, I don't know what that was based on, but it's amazing just to see, like, League of Legends is literally based on a fucking mod. In retrospect, it's hard to imagine it. So there's only 8 people left, but I haven't really had very good luck in this match. We may as well just top ourselves off, I guess. Got to be careful not to do that in combat. We don't have a whole lot left to go to, or I'm kind of too far ahead of it. Although I don't know what the blue overlap is because it's like cutting through it. That couldn't be the storm. Now you see dead people. I guess that works whether they're the one doing the killing or they're the one dying. You see dead people as soon as you see his name up there. Yeah, this one doesn't seem like it does that much damage. Maybe it's like a trade-off for status effects or armor countering or whatever. That guy's just fucking flying around like he's got a jetpack. So he doesn't seem to care about the combat.
Keep an eye on the storm. It's moving in.
there is such a sense of passivity on these players. Like either they are bots or they have the same mentality as me, just to kind of play it guerrilla warfare style, or at least engage a little bit and then back out. Like they clearly saw me before. They just don't seem to care. I don't know what these bursts of speed in the air that they're doing are for that long. I can't do that with my levitate. This is going to be problematic, I think. But for now, I should be like just barely within the scope of the safe zone. I just feel like I'm too out in the open. Can they just like kill each other and then let me finish off the weakened one? I am still within the safe zone here. It's just not going to last for too long. I'm just going to slow pace it as much as possible. I want to replicate my brilliance in the first 2 games of just winning, not knowing what I'm doing, but following the fundamentals of what got me so far in PUBG or wherever else I used it. I don't know what other game I'm thinking of, because it's not Fortnite. It must have been something else, because I barely even played Fortnite. That guy's just dancing, hopping around. He doesn't seem to care. But then when you're forced into this last one, now you have no choice but to fight.
The spell storm's closing.
Where could the last guy be? There's 3 people. And somehow I feel like that doesn't include me, but it probably must. Okay, he has the high ground. There's somebody over there too, so they're probably in very optimal position. Shouldn't they fight each other though, dude? First blood, does that mean I killed him? Because it doesn't feel like I did, but...
Keep an eye on the storm. It's moving in.
Now, this last person is going to destroy me. Ah, stupid storm. I'd like to just chill here and use a potion for a second if it's going to let me. So where would this guy be? And we also need like an armor thing. I don't even see him. Oh, shit. It's kind of hard to hit in scenarios like this. This is the final boss. He's still got armor, so it's going to be hard to do anything with that. Gonna stay on him, stay on him. I keep doing damage to myself by going in that stupid thing. Where do they go? In the middle of combat, they just kind of disappear. Maybe they're trying to use a spell too. Oh, she's even hanging around the outside of the ship. Two down. Shouldn't that be the last person? Fuck. So at least you're guaranteed to have a player encounter at the end there, right? Those couldn't be fucking bots. Or even if they are, they're a little better. The toxicologist, that's good. It just makes it seem too easy, but I'm not gonna cop out like these people it's easy for as well. If they're gonna just you get to choose here, and I think I keep unlocking skins or whatever, so it's nothing to do with the... So I think that's what they were playing as, the ice thing, right? Flash freeze, chill the area around you, slowing. Although it kind of confused the issue because you can use like different gauntlets. So I was using like an ice gauntlet even as the fire thing, which will give you at least certain abilities. Chill the area around you, slowing and eventually freezing anyone caught inside of it. I don't like the eventually part. It makes it seem too slow. The best abilities in a game like this are just going to be the ones that you can spam and that are instantly accurate. So like whatever's going to hit them the fastest, just spam the shit out of it and don't even worry about accuracy too much. And with the slowest cooldown, Ice Lance, charge and unleash a deadly shard of ice. But I don't want to charge. That means putting myself at risk. Let's just try the last two, since it obviously takes an excruciating amount of time to actually do the fucking cues, which is unfortunate. I can't believe that's the worst part about it. But the core aspect of it is fun. It's just like, maybe there's not enough depth to it to have kept people interested, or maybe there was for a few years. But then what they really should be announcing is not shutting down the servers, but like a new expansion to, you know, introduce new mechanics and characters and whatnot to keep people hooked. But I guess they just kind of gave up on it. Which is unfortunate. I really thought it would be the opposite. that it would be overflowing and like crazy amount of people because everybody's doing the same thing. Like, oh, I can't believe I never got around to playing it. I got to make sure I do. In the wake of hearing that it's about to shut down, it's almost like a company will let that kind of news drop on purpose with a smirk on their face, like, oh yeah, just think about the amount of, attention we're going to generate in the meantime of announcing that it's going to shut down. But I guess it doesn't do much for them because they're not even allowing microtransactions and people. Oh, that was the quickest queue time ever. Minute 18. I'm even complaining about it. So I don't like the charge thing. In fact, if anything, you would use it almost the opposite way of just like, oh, I hate these ones that do stuff on the ground, dude. What is that going to do for me in the middle of a match? Like you saw the encounter at the end there, that was all predicated on long range shit. This is close range, slow. It's like the fucking stone guy. Yeah, this class doesn't suit me either. I'm not going to be able to hit people with this. Like, what is that? I should probably try the right click. That actually suits me more. It's almost like I don't even care or pay attention to my mana. For me, it's just more like spam an ability until you can't spam it anymore. And then just, wait till you can spam it again. You don't really have to worry about it too much. The fire one is definitely my favorite. It just feels so natural and intuitive. You don't have to worry about any other secondary effect or any other kind of mechanics. So I might rely on the right click a bit more here. I don't like how stuttery it is, but I don't know what exactly is causing it. What does that mean?
So we land today, Breaker.
Oh, unselected, meaning by anybody. But that means there must at least be that many players, though. Well, no. Maybe they can trick you like, oh, the bots chose that one too. Let's take our chances and go right in the middle of it. But of course, you don't know where exactly the storm is going to go. I don't think. Sometimes it will just be in the corner of the map. You never want to go into a big structure like this because I'm sure everyone else will be looting the shit out of it. That's where they tend to put the better items and whatnot. So let's go around the outskirts. So there's a belt, a boot, and like a necklace thing. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, that's what the skating element, though, is. You can use that to your advantage, but of course, other people presumably can, too. Or maybe they can't. Yeah, let me try to do this achievement, even if it means attracting shit to myself. Ice skate for 20 seconds. Clearly my priority right now. It's the only chance I'm going to have to ever get this achievement. If I never play this again. This will be the only time I play the class, the only time I play the game. I have to just do it. 18. I just hate these abilities that do stuff on the ground. Like, how is that going to help me unless they're like right in front of me? Which my whole style of play is going to prevent them from doing that. That's the whole point. You would think there would be almost nobody on this side of the map, though. You would kind of want to just kind of keep away. Wait till, it's very close to the time of the storm coming in. Although you kind of are a sitting duck here too if somebody comes from the other side. It's important to do that with these big maps. It's like not give you too many places where you're covered on all directions. Otherwise you can just easily camp there. And over time people are going to become very familiar with, like, this is kind of a good spot. Because it's unlikely that somebody's going to come from up above there. It's like I'm always good at getting myself in an advantageous position, but then once I'm there, I fuck it up still. It's like the perfect example of like, you'll see XUC or somebody's clip like that. Like they'll get the beat on somebody, they won't know they're there. They'll get the shot off, then the person will turn around and headshot them because they obviously aren't that great at aiming themselves. Winston aim or whatever the fuck they say to make fun of him. Because he played Winston in Overwatch. The point is like, oh, I'm sneaking up on that guy. He has no idea I'm there. I did good positional play, and then he just turns around and domes me because he's actually good at aiming and has great reaction time. So you'll like fire and miss a free shot where you could have just headshot him yourself or at least done some significant amount of damage. And of course, if you're playing on console, that just accentuates. But at least you can kind of use that as an excuse then. Like, it really is a legitimate unfair criteria. Like, imagine playing against a PC player's aim with console. Even if you're both good or both bad at aiming, right? It's just an equalizing factor. Like, it's not fair. You just have objectively more control over the movement. Unless you have lock-on to compensate on console, but then that creates another issue. Like, unless everybody has it, nobody should have it. That's even like console games admitting how shitty console aim is, in the sense that, like, you know, most PC games that are only on PC never had, or even PC versions of games that are on consoles never had auto aim or lock on as a mechanic, yet console games do. So what is that telling you? That's basically the developers telling you, oh yeah, console aiming sucks, so you need to have lock on. It's like whack-a-mole. Whereas with PC, you don't need it because it's just good. It's just natural one-to-one movement. So why would the same game have lock on even as an option? Yeah, that's really gonna hit him there when it's hitting the fucking ground. I hate these two abilities. I'm really gonna have to use the right click thing. Although I still don't think it'll do all that much damage. So the E is like some kind of tornado thing. It's kind of hard for me to test these abilities when I'm trying to keep a low profile the whole time. That'll be what I do after this too, like a magic overload. I heard you like magic, so I played Spellbreak, and then I played Magic the Gathering. Meanwhile, in Hearthstone, I'm the biggest anti-spell person ever. Just the fact of, you know, my low-thab and anti-spell deck, but that's just a very fun theme. So we're inside the thing now, but I don't want to be too far inside of it. Try to hide around for a little bit, and we'll have plenty of time to go from there. There's 25 people left. This left click is the main ability that you're going to be using. So if you don't like that, you kind of don't like the class overall, right? That's kind of what you got to come to. Game Mother killed Game Mother. Dr. Picnic killed Dr. Picnic. It's possible they're just bots and they're just standing out in the storm because they're too stupid to know how that mechanic works. Yeah, I almost want to rely on right click more because I know that this thing isn't actually going to work. There is something very visually confusing about these games sometimes. Like, when there's so much shit flying on the screen, it's hard for you to really focus, and I had that problem in Overwatch a lot. Like, how am I supposed to know what I'm doing when there's all these crazy animations and mechanics going on? I don't think I hit them with anything because these are all like close range, stupid kind of abilities that are not going to do you any favors, let's just say. Bot Farmer achieves first place 10 times in one day in their first session of Spellbreak. But hey, there's at least a few other players, so I'm at least beating them, even if they suck too, and even if they're new or whatever.
Keep an eye on the storm.
Yeah. No, don't keep an eye on it. Just keep your back towards it. Right? Cool spellbreakers don't look at storms, spell storms behind them, chasing them. I like these high elevation moments though, where you can just totally explode. But that's not even a player. That's a fucking... that's worse than a bot. One step below a bot. It's actually just like an NPC enemy, I think at least. Unless that's some kind of skin that you can use. And I just don't like this class though. Hitting somebody there a little bit. Let's just try to get out of there. These towers are always good to use as cover. You know you're going to be safe if you go towards the storm, because nobody else is going to be stupid enough to do that. I don't know how much or if at all I'm hitting somebody there. I hate this ice thing, dude. This sucks. You gotta skate across it like you're fucking RPing. Why would I want to skate during combat? I don't know where people go. There is certainly a good sense of, you know, dipping in and out of combat that people definitely take advantage of. I would like some armor. I didn't do a very good job looting this time. I was just kind of so concerned about my position and staying away from people. There should probably be something here to loot. But you can always get baited and killed in the process. That is like a mind trick in some of these games. Like, you kill somebody, but you don't go up and loot them. You wait, let somebody else try to pick up the spoils, and then that gives you like a free shot to take them. You get a free attack on them, I mean. You can even fall down while using an item, which could be a good way to get out of combat while still using it. We have to wait a little bit before we go to the last one. There's 9 people left. We have won a couple of these. I've won like 3 out of maybe 7 games, it feels like. And I can, or I don't even know how many I've played, but you know, it still means something. I'm not going to stand for the sort of slander that, oh, you're playing against bots, because it's not only bots. And if it's that easy, then why don't other people take advantage of it too? Oh, look at that dog shit aim. He got the beat on me and everything too. You have to get too close for these things to be effective. Like, I don't like that. I don't get it. Okay, I better get out of there now, though. I'm not really doing anything to him. Right? Like, I can't hit him at a long range. It's just not happening. Yeah, let them destroy each other. We'll go inside a little bit here. We'll easily get the 1500 condition, but I don't know why he keeps spamming me with that notification. Maybe that's why everybody quit the game, because that's just so annoying. Just tell me once I achieve it. You don't have to keep telling me along the way. Like, what? I'm not going to do damage to people? That's just... I have something I have to go out of my way to do? Although, to an extent, that is true. Because, I don't know how I didn't take more from that, honestly. Go ahead and put a little bit of armor on. This mechanic is a little bit too much sometimes. You can kind of just abuse the armor system. So once again, you have a little scuffle with somebody and then they just disappear. The one thing this doesn't have is like super long range stuff that, you know, people are going to snipe you halfway across the map. So that's at least a nice aspect of it. I'm assuming they can't skate on the ice in the same way that I'm doing. It just takes so long to do anything with this. It's impossible to actually kill anybody. I'm just spamming everything. So now as soon as your armor's about to go, you may as well just get out of there. Right, as soon as they dip into the health, then you're actually in trouble. The problem is I still want to get more armor. And it's going to be very hard to do. You go ahead and pop this. You have 90 potential, so the total keeps going up, I think, over the time. Whether it be because I'm picking up, like, actual pieces of armor or something. It shows you how farcical and how sort of artificial multiplayer games can be. That they're based on something very narrow, right? Just like something at the time that makes people interested in them and want to play them, and then it's very easily and quickly over. Top 6, top 3 actually, right? It's sometimes not based on the core and fundamental mechanics and stuff. Exiled by Rest Carnage, that was kind of just like an unstoppable moment where I couldn't even tell what was happening, but I just couldn't move. So you can't let yourself get in those positions. Master of Magecraft. It's like you're picking on bots the whole time. Yeah, definitely those are my 2 least favorite classes, I must say. I love the Pyromancer. I'm okay with the Conduit. I'm okay with these. So these 3 I can deal with. I'm assuming maybe these 3 I won't like. I hate the Stone Shaper. I don't like the Ice one either. Conjure a tornado and pull your opponents in. But why would I want to do that? My whole thing is I want to stay away and hit them from a distance with like a fireball or something. Wind Shear, rapidly summon Gust of Wind to damage your opponents and deflect their spells. Well, that's kind of good, at least as a defensive option to deflect stuff. Okay, last one. I think just the visual feedback on the Mage was the best of like, or on the Pyromancer, because it was very easy and clear to see where you were hitting, and you have like the little AoE radius to spam. So it's like the degenerate spam class that most people probably play as because it's the first one too. So everyone just gets hooked on it, but And then, of course, the gauntlets kind of mix it up because anybody can just use anything in that way. There's, you know, the way you combine the base class with the gauntlets that you choose to build throughout the throughout exploring is kind of a meaningful meta, I'm sure. It would have been cool to see the 5v5 match, but of course there is no way to do that. So I finished in like the top 6 in every single match, which is not hard to do when you combine the fact of bots, but also with the fact that of just how I play, kind of path of least resistance. Cosmetics, collections, yeah, as if anybody would care about that now. You have to kind of buy the artifice that these games not only are, you know, not only is what you're buying not real, it's not even real in a digital sense, because then it's, you know, it's just on a timer, or maybe that gives more a sense of weight. The idea that, you know, it won't last makes you value it more for some people, but whereas with a single player game, it'll feel like an eventuality. Like, you can always get everything if you just play long enough, possibly, but I think some of the hard mode formats I do make you really appreciate how you can make stuff in single player games feel like a meaningful achievement. Like how simply the act of beating a game is a big deal, because either it's the first playthrough permadeath, so it could be over at any time and then you're not able to play it again for X amount of time, whatever you put as the, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be forever. Or on the flip side, it could be a case where, you know, it's just like a hard mode where it makes simply beating the game, like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, like feel virtually impossible, and a months long kind of exodus into madness where you just kind of push it a little bit too far. You're making the simple act of just beating a game into a real event where it almost feels like, oh my goodness, this is like a world first, or this is like you know, winning like a tournament. And it's just self-inflicted because you want to have that meaningful, immersive experience. But people, I don't know, there's some sort of self-defeating perspective that people have where they just want to get through things as quickly as possible. But then they complain about, oh, you know, that was just, there's not enough to do, or it was too easy, or whatever. Like this whole sort of min-max metagame mentality. But it's not even based on their own ability to figure that stuff out. Like, let me come up with the best build and the experience of playing it, even if I was interested in doing that. But they won't do that. They'll look it up, or they'll get advice, or I don't know. There's just something wrong with that mentality, I think. At least in multiplayer games, I can understand to an extent. But at that point, people also like, you know, no game is ever going to be perfectly balanced. So whatever the optimal strategy is, everyone's just going to do it. And so, I don't know, this illusion of balance that developers chase is just misguided. And in the name of it, like, oh, they get rid of talent trees and WoW, but then now they bring them back. So it's like this endless back and forth of just, it's not really about this perfect balance that you're never going to achieve. Just try to make everything feel distinct and customizable. And the more options you give people, the more, you know, the less people will get pigeonholed into doing just one thing. Although that's not necessarily even true, because if it's better, they'll just find whatever the best option is in a matter of time, and just then they'll deliberately choose not to use all the other options that you're giving them. So I guess it comes to the same thing. So it was enjoyable, but it seems kind of unfortunate that it is this dead. I guess this validates them shutting it down. Right, if people really wanted them not to shut it down, they could have shown something here. Like, this last month, we're gonna, you know, make this the most popular game on all counts, and then they'll change their mind. But if this is the kind of lobby situation that you're gonna give them, yeah, fuck it. It's practically the community saying, we don't care. Go ahead and shut it down. We could care less. They must have done something to really piss people off, maybe. Or it could just be, again, one of those lack of developments over time, like, they just didn't add a lot of new stuff, or, you know, keep up with it. It could be, maybe this is exactly the same experience, aside from, obviously, the player base being better, as when it first came out. Maybe nothing's even changed. That is a problem with a lot of games, I feel like. Like, even Battlefront 2 is a good, enjoyable game to an extent, but then it's just kind of like, something feels like it's missing, right? They don't add anything to it, or it's just kind of a stale experience after a while. On sheer wind, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so this is what I was able to do even with the... I guess this is at least fast, though. But it'll pull them towards me. Then what will this do? Or wait, I forget which ones... It seems like this one will pull them towards you. It couldn't be that if you claim one of these that nobody else can go there. Right? It's just letting you know. You can still go to one that has another person there. Because there's not enough for everybody. Or maybe there are with the bot consideration. I wonder what if you just don't choose. It'll just randomly choose one for you. Not at all what I was expecting, though. Kind of weird that it shows you your Steam tag there. Okay, so now we just try to stay away from people the whole game like a pussy and just win on that basis alone. Pick up some armor stuff. I think I was a little bit slow to pick stuff up. I guess I don't care about the looting mechanic as much as I should in most of these games. I think I can just get away with not doing it. Or I don't like to stand around in one spot like a sitting duck trying to figure out and debate the way that I would in like a single player game or something, which is the best item. Let me read all the flavor text and all this kind of stuff. It's just all expendable. Just pick up whatever you see and just keep going. And so in that sense, it's like, oh yeah, there's all this variety of customization, but then it bogs down to they may as well just tell you what's better than what, because you're not going to just sit there and read it. So it makes it feel kind of meaningless that it may as well just automatically just pick it up for you at that point. So we're already close to the circle here, so we don't want to get too close. I almost deliberately try to guess, you know, how can I get as far away from it as possible so I have the lowest chance of actually encountering a player. So this could be good because it seems like it'll hit them pretty far away. That's my biggest thing, like right away. But the problem is, I don't know if this one pulls them towards you or if this one does, the Q. So this combined with ice could be a good combination, all about like close range stuff of pulling them in and keeping them there, assuming that's what you want. I don't see why you would want that. It could be good for team play. Like, okay, you want, you know, you want to pull them in and then finish them off. Like as if you were the tank class or something like that. But that's obviously not what you want to do in the context of by yourself. Because, yeah, I'll pull him in and then he'll just kill me with his own abilities. He's not going to just sit there and take it. I did feel like I was kind of incapacitated in that one game, though. At the end, where I just didn't feel like I could do anything, but that was kind of my fault for exposing myself to, the, just being like out wide in the open. I didn't have to really do that. Ready Player Fun. That almost sounds like a real player's name. Instead of Ready Player One, Ready Player Fun. Let's try to stay around the outside a little bit. It almost seems like you can just go in the water on the outside and you'll still be safe for the time being. My armor's already full. It just makes me really crave a single player game with a really good magic mechanic, of which there really aren't too many, unfortunately. Like in the Soul series, magic is still satisfying to use, but it's like not very freeform. You're going to rely on targeting. You can try to do it like with the binoculars or try to do it, you know, without using targeting, but it's just not, it doesn't really feel like it's meant to be done that way. Although with my hard mode ideation, that should almost be something I should try. Do like a first playthrough binocular run with the mage as a trade-off for, oh, mages are overpowered, so that's what you have to do. You can't even sprint then, you can't even see like 75% of your peripheral. You can only do you can only roll, I think. So it turns it into like a first person, like an old school Doom or something. Even there you'd have more mobility. So I don't want to go in too far. In fact, the blue thing still isn't even here yet. You can just wait around a bit. It's easy to finish in like the top 6 or the top 10. which even if these were all players, it would be generally the same. In fact, it might even be easier because then they'll be more aggressive and kill each other faster. Whereas here they're kind of dicking around a bit. There's been a lot of suicides, which I can only assume is a question of better item already equipped. But will it still let me do it? No, it won't even let me. Like, don't even let me build something suboptimal that could maybe have some kind of interesting interaction. Just make the decision for me. Toxic cloud thing. You got the ice and the wind, which kind of seems like a good combo. It almost seemed like this one had something to do with time, right? Like a chrono something. I forget what it's called. Chrono gauntlet, maybe? So you go ahead and do Z, but I can't. But I have a 70 armor capacity at least. That's what makes people really hard to kill, I guess, in the late game, which is why you probably wouldn't want to wait as long. I have 90 armor. I don't know what the max even is. I assume 100. But it feels like I always get stuck around 90. Toxic Gauntlet. We'll just say this one's better than what I have. I don't know what rarity mine is. I just know that it's ice, which I kind of do want with the setup for some reason. Like, even that's not bad. I don't know how much damage it's gonna do though. You're kind of just hiding at the edge of the world here. This is one case where at least you know you're safe from behind. Nobody's gonna come from this general direction off the edge of the fucking map. Unless they're first landing in. If they come in late. Yeah, what does happen if... I guess you really can't join most of these games late. Because then you'd be able to fall down pretty much anywhere that you want. So... Oh, fuck. Just wait it out. Try to win my last game here. Grunge kills Grunge. But it's almost like he's killing himself with an ability. With a fire ability. So it's not even that he's standing out in the storm. He just burned himself to death by like walking through the fire. Maybe that's the trade-off for why the fire is so good. And so clear and has such a good aim. Is the fact that it has like... it does have the friendly fire that most of these other abilities don't seem to have. In fact, the ice has the opposite of friendly fire. It even lets you do a friendly little skate. Not only does it not do damage to you, you know, it gives you a fun little bonus effect. I'm not sure if your opponents get that effect too. I'm assuming they don't. Upgrades your spirit talent. You have like 3 little things to upgrade that way there. All the character building in the world is not going to save you from some tryhard who's just going to whoop you anyway. Potion of Safeguard. But what does it do? Already at full health and armor. Maybe I should save these. So you can go in, duck in, fight, come back out. The one thing I don't have is the armor. The ability to replenish armor. I don't know why I'd really want to cross over there. But there's not really a great hiding spot here. So we still have like a minute before it really crosses over. These maps are sometimes too big in these games though, like where, you know, you're not going to encounter people for long periods of time anyway. It does seem like you can fall through to your death in these holes, but I didn't get to see it because I ended up winning that game right as soon as that happened. I like the lighting change here. Makes me feel like I'm in Eversong Woods, or what's that area next to it? The one after. Some of the dark forest areas and wow. Was very fitting because these would be like very Blood Elf-esque characters who are so obsessed with magic. But yeah, you just can't have that kind of combat system in an MMO where it's actually hands-on, freeform, or at least you typically haven't historically had that. Combined chivalry melee mechanics with Spellbreak magic mechanics, and you have the perfect MMO or any kind of combat system. Right, that was my whole idea. But it's hard to really do that. But by this day and age, you should be able to. Instead, people are going to prioritize stuff like VR or whatever. What's that going to switch with?
It's moving in.
Safeguard potion. After drinking for 4 seconds, give you 25 Health and armor over 10 seconds. Well, I want to be able to have some armor at least that I can recover. Whatever you can pick up, you already know is going to be better. Stone I don't really like as a general mechanic. Although what the gauntlets do is at least a little bit different than the other thing. We're down to 12. Wait, what the fuck? But that isn't going to do armor damage. It's going to do... what's with this... these lines around the screen? Is that because the storm is like closing in on me or like right behind me? Level up. Sudden gust in the air. Yeah, some of these abilities I just don't like. I'm much a bigger fan of just the base spammable ability like the fire. Instead of like, oh, this will pull them towards you, or oh, it'll slow them down, or oh, it'll knock them in the air. Although that could be good. Just like none of that is going to stop them from just fucking killing me in the meantime. So you may as well just spam something that you know is going to hit them. But there's still 7 people left. It's hard to believe that I wouldn't be seeing them left and right. They must still be in this outer area. Or maybe that's my mistake. So there is like a high ground, low ground dynamic at work here for sure. But it's not going to go in much further than this. This is it. The final showdown area. Which could be seemingly almost anywhere in the map at times. It's not always going to be the same place because of how widely the stuff can vary. I don't know what all this stuff means. 15, 30, 60, some kind of complex navigation system. Come on, I can do this one with my ice-wind combination, which for some reason I have it in my head is going to be good, but I'm not really a big fan of the ice either. Or like, let me combine my least favorite 2 elements that are both not about just doing base damage and accuracy and distance and speed. It's more about their secondary effects or whatever. I don't think either of us hit either of us one time there. I can't really tell even exactly what's happening, but I didn't take any damage at least. It usually tells you if you do damage yourself, so I probably didn't. And now see, they get distracted and sidetracked by somebody else, which is always my dream come true. So just forget about me, and then I'll finish you off once you... It's like what Mr. Satan says in DBZ, right? You two fight for an exhaustingly long amount of time, and then I'll come in and finish off the victor. Or you'll have the honor of fighting me. He doesn't say it so blatantly as just, oh yeah, I'll finish you off because you're exhausted. Which might seem absurd that that would work, but like Yajirobe does that at the beginning of the series. Looks like he's almost dead there, but I just don't know. It almost looks like I was going to just die there when you get stunned like that, but...
Get moving, Breaker. Spellstorm's coming.
Yeah, that's the least of my concerns right now. I'll top myself off because this isn't going to do much for me in the long run. Top off my armor. Rare Frost Gauntlet, so I didn't even have a rare one or an epic one. It's going to be hard for them to really pinpoint my location here. But they kind of could guess where I'm going to go from here.
Moving, Breaker.
How could I move more than this? This person's gonna be a mega tryhard too, I bet. I just can't do anything in these moments. Like, it's all very touch and go. I don't know. I'm not really seeing what I'm doing or anything. I don't get these abilities. Like, there's no good visual feedback. I can't see what I'm doing, or... Yeah, I don't like some of these classes. Oh, I didn't even get in all that. Fuck off. I don't know what class she was. Some of these just give you a better feedback that you're really hitting them. Like, the fire one's pretty good about that. I just kept spamming stuff, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything. Or maybe I'm spamming the wrong thing and then I don't have enough mana to do anything. Okay, so that was good, but The game is definitely in a different state than I guess I would have expected.